by T-REV, so we'll call him that as well. And he joins us now.
People get killed for other stupid choices. Standing up for the families that took a loss. This something that we find important. Rap game strong, chest up. Little homie, keep your head up. You can be whatever you want. Get rid of the fake and it will lead up. All my life I strive for greatness. I manifested my time with patience. People try to copy us, but respect is earned. It's not an obligation. I love the fam and they love me back, and that's why I always have the backs. I give a voice to those people who were never given a chance for them slimy cats. When you come here, you ain't a number to me. I really take time to read what I see. Don't forget to lock your doors, cause there's danger all up in these streets. Y'all really put life into the air that I breathe. I really am thankful for all of my peeps.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. It is 2/22/2024. We're in the building. Make sure you hit that like button as you coming in. Julie, how are you doing? Kelly, I see you. Mucka, what's going on? Fluffles, Leisure, Clack, or Crack a Cold Case. I don't know why I said Clack, but what's going on? Tiffany, oh, that's terrible. Going to do some research on the UGA incident. What happened to UGA? Oh my God, my son asked me to put one of his snakes cages in my room. Oh, hell no, nah. I don't like snakes. He's got like 20 in his room, and it just fell off the top in the tank. And I think it peed. What? You're wilding. Jamie, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. All right, so I was just looking around, and I seen in Discord somebody posted about Audrii. So Audrii Cunningham's cause of death came out, and it's been revealed. After her body was found in the river, it says Audrii Cunningham, the 11-year-old, found dead in a river 5 days after disappearing in Texas, died from blunt head trauma, authorities confirmed with People. So it says her cause of death is homicidal violence, and her manner of death has been ruled a homicide. Harris County Institute of Forensic Science tells People officials at the institute did not comment when asked about the potential injuries. Audrii was reported missing on February 15th when she did not show up for school in Livingston, Texas, authorities said at the time. Don Stephen McDougal, 42, was charged with first-degree murder in connection with her death, authorities have announced. Now, it says McDougal was arrested on an unrelated assault charge the day after Audrii went missing, but was quickly named a person of interest, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Audrii's body was discovered. Hold on, let me fix this too while we're up here, because I want y'all to check this out too. This one's crazy. This is actually crazy when we check this video out. It's somebody who was the first child victim of man charged with Audrii Cunningham's murder. Murder says system failed her and Audrii. But it says here, McDougal was arrested on an unrelated assault charge the day after Audrii went missing, but was quickly named a person of interest, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Audrii's body was discovered on February 20th, and Polk County authorities charged McDougal with capital murder in connection to her death. The following day, the Sheriff's Office confirmed to People. In a charging document reviewed by People, authorities claim they found Audrii's body tied to a large rock with a rope that was consistent with rope found in the suspect's car days earlier. Damn, this picture looks crazy. Look at this picture right here. Good gracious. McDougal was the last person to be seen with Audrii, according to authorities, and the man has been entrusted with her care on previous occasions. So maybe he was building up for that point. I don't know. He lived in a trailer on Audrii's family's property, CNN reported, citing authorities. McDougal allegedly told authorities that he had left the house with Audrii on the morning she disappeared, but refused to give any further information. Polk County Sheriff Byron Lyons said ABC 13 previously reported McDougal has past convictions for enticement of a child. Fox 26/11 and Click 2 Houston reported, citing court records. It is unclear if McDougal has retained an attorney to speak on his behalf. So, I mean, that's the cause of death. That's, I don't know. That's it. I heard some eerie stuff, like there was yeah, you guys know SA. I'm just gonna say SA because it's triggering as hell to talk about that, right? Like what we heard happened to her. What's going on, Michelle? Welcome to the stream, Jersey. Root, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Crazy Nurse, how's your night going? Nice to see you guys. Janet, what's going on? Main man, I cannot wait till the brotherhood he claims to be in gets a hold of him in prison. They do not take charges against children lightly, and that tattoo will be carved off his body. That's a fact. They're gonna carve that shit right off him. What's going on? C. Vanderhoof in the building.
We're taking a deeper.
Now this right here, this video that we're watching right here is the first person who was, I guess, assaulted by him. SA, anyways.
Suspect's past.
A woman who was targeted by McDougal as a child is bravely coming forward to share her story tonight. She is one of several people who police say experienced violence from McDougal.
ABC 13 anchor Elisa Rivas is live to walk us through the timeline here, Elisa.
Charlie, Eric, there are so many layers to this story, starting with the case prosecutors are building now. And it's hard to fathom. Don Stephen McDougal was a family friend, a person even trusted to live in a camper behind the home Audrii shared with her father's side of the family. Despite his disturbing history, court documents don't get into what Audrii had to endure in her final moments.
You say he has more than one of them tattoos, Teresa? Kathy's evil as shit. Evil as it gets. Having Lisa creep. Dude literally is a creep. Like, those details that I heard, that I seen in Discord just before, were just absolutely disgusting. And you know what? The system did fail her. Or any previous victim of that. Period.
But they include this haunting detail. Her body was found in the water, weighted down with a rock. The rope he allegedly used was also said to be found in his SUV. McDougal's criminal history goes back more than 2 decades. Just last summer, police say he stabbed a man he did not know who was helping him jump a car battery. And tonight we are hearing also from one of McDougal's—
What? He did what? Say that again, ma'am. I didn't hear you.
Used was also said to be found in his SUV. McDougal's criminal history goes back more than 2 decades. Just last summer, police say he stabbed a man he did not know who was helping him jump a car battery. And
What? Like, I'm not.
tonight we were hearing also
That's
from
crazy.
one of
What's going on,
McDougal's
Tracy?
old
Welcome.
coworkers who says McDougal attacked him when he threw him out of his home 14 years ago.
I opened the door up and told him he needed to leave, and he come at me with the knife, and I had my shotgun, and I hit him in the face with it and shut the door on him.
Should
I
have
had
pulled the
no
trigger
idea he
then,
was
baby.
That kind of person.
McDougal was reportedly sentenced to 4.
What? I forget. It's in the game. It's the Brotherhood tattoo. He has got an Aryan Brotherhood tattoo. I'm not. You said Patsy said what? I'm not surprised she didn't have clothes on. He videoed her giving him a tattoo on his inner thigh. No joke. I think that he built up on this. I think that this is something that he built up on. And also, if you look back at those text messages, right? And we could review those text messages how many times we want to review them. But when you look back and you read those, remember the doc? Oh my God. Remember the doc being talked about in the text messages? And she's tied to a doc? Would she have been a victim that day if she would have met up? Think about that. Would she have been a victim? Would she have became a victim to him? This is a sick story to cover. No, it definitely is. Absolutely disgusting. Should have held court right there.
4 years in prison for that incident.
Eye for an eye.
Long before the violent attacks against adults, McDougal also pleaded guilty to enticing a child in Brazoria County back in 2007. The young victim told police he crawled into bed with her and tried to remove her pants. He did not have to register as a sex offender as part of the plea. The victim is in her 20s now, and Audrii's murder is hitting her hard. ABC 13's Luke Jones is the only reporter to talk with her about this and is live now with her story. Luke.
And you know, Elisa, she says what happened to Audrii could have easily happened to her. I mean, total shock when she saw Don McDougal's face pop up in online posts. And tonight she says she wants to be Audrii's voice and a voice for other children in similar situations.
I'll never forget his face after that.
Carissa Davis would like nothing more than to forget Don McDougal's face.
I know he's a nasty man.
And what he did to her one night in 2007.
Okay, so it wasn't hold up. Why did it say? All right, so I read something wrong then.
She was at her uncle's Brazoria County house for a family gathering. McDougal's sisters were family friends.
And he came into the room that me and my cousin were sleeping in.
Davis says McDougal yanked her cousin from their bed, then got into bed with her.
Tried to take down my pants, and I immediately jumped up at that moment.
So, all right, so I am reading another thing. The autopsy confirms that Audrii Cunningham died before she was dumped into the river. So it says specifically here, as Audrii Cunningham's family gets ready to honor her memory next weekend, we now know what caused her death. An autopsy showed the 11-year-old Livingston girl died from the homicidal violence, including blunt head trauma, according to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office. And it also says that they are able to confirm, or the autopsy was able to confirm, that she had died before she was dumped into the river.
I remember looking at him and saying, "Do you know how
Nice to
old
see you,
I
Candy.
am?"
Davis
Vaudis,
raced for the door
aka
with
Candy
McDougal
Rapper.
in tow.
He grabbed me, and when he did, I just swung my arm and I hit him.
But now that he's been charged with Audrii Cunningham's murder, she can't help but wonder what would have happened had she not been able to fight back.
And everybody was still asleep. I mean, my uncle's backyard was woods. I mean, it could have been me.
McDougal pleaded
Damn.
guilty to enticing a child and was sentenced to 2 years in prison, but got credit.
She's right, though. She's right, though. It definitely could have been her. 100%. Mom was definitely going to be a victim that day. I wonder if that was just a conversation, right? If he just used that as a way to get time with, or I don't know. I'm thinking too much but then again, he was just taking her to the bus stop. But who knows? Did he tell her that morning, look, I got this little special secret. We're going to go see your mom. I wonder if that's what he did, sick bastard. I don't know what will show as far as evidence, like how he thought of what he was going to do, or even if he will admit. Probably won't. I believe he had every intention of unenlivening the mom too. Glitter says a little late here. No, you're here. You ain't 13 minutes. It's only 13 minutes, and you're good. Sounds of silence. This is disgusting. Absolutely. All right. So here's some of the details. I want to see this. Maybe you probably already have.
Last hours, the body of a beautiful little girl, Audrii, just 11 years old.
Hold up. They should have to register all over the states after enticement of a child, right? I think they should. It's rumored Audrii was pregnant. Are you serious? Where did that come from? T-REV, I think his intention was to unalive both mother and daughter. Then it would look like mother ran off with the daughter. Why does that sound like it? It does sound like it would be something that a predator would do, especially somebody who's going to kill. It was very obvious he was grooming her. Sick, pathetic bastard. Jessica, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, by the way. Mucka, and if you're just coming in, make sure you hit the like button. After this video, I'll open the lines and take some calls for sure. I'll definitely open up the lines and take some calls. Make sure you hit the like button as you're coming in, share the stream. I need to share the Twitter too real quick.
Has been pulled out from under a bridge in a Texas river. Heads are gonna roll.
Tell us more,
I'm
Nancy.
Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. First of all, take a listen to this.
At this time, I sadly announce that Audrii's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrii, and I want to thank DPS, Department of Public Safety, for all their help in this alert. The information that we have gathered in this criminal investigation is substantial. My heart aches with this news, and I express with my deepest sympathies and condolences to everyone who knew, who cared for, and loved Audrii. The Sheriff's Office, we will continue to process the evidence that has been gathered to ensure that the justice for Audrii.
He said, do away with him. Death penalty. He is a monster and will do it again. The parents failed her too. The parents should be held accountable, in my opinion. He will not last in prison. They should smoke him in prison, honestly. But I think that he'll probably go to PC anyways. Dude's in PC right now, probably.
And you can hear the Polk County Sheriff Byron Lyons
PC right on up.
cracking after he and his whole team, volunteers, you name it, tried to find Audrii alive. That did not happen. Take a listen to what else should.
You know, Carol, I gotta agree with you on this one. I really do. I have to agree with you on this one. 11-year-old would be safer alone in the day with a cell phone and locked doors. He is a nightmare. I agree with that. 100%. You'd rather roll your dice with a cell phone and a locked door than, oh yeah, will you watch her? Oh, okay. No way.
Byron Lyons has to say.
Thank you to Trinity River Authority for lowering the water levels so that the divers could reach areas of interest. Due to the lowering, we were able to contact TRA, Trinity River Authority. They slowed down the outflow from the reservoir,
Right.
and it allowed the water to go down, and her body was discovered there in the water. But I'm not going to say whether it was Harris County or Montgomery County or EchoSearch. It was a conglomeration of a lot of love and law enforcement networking together that helped discover her.
I've done a lot of dive searches, but never have I seen the water actually lowered in a body of water in order to find a body. For those of you just joining us, the body of an 11-year-old girl, Audrii Cunningham, has been found. Joining me in All-Star panel to make sense of what we know now, including a man that predicted the defendant would attack again after the defendant attacked him. Did he go to jail? Hell no. That's why he was out to murder Audrii. Yeah, that victim joining us. But first, to Bob Price joining us, associate editor, senior news contributor. You can find him at Britbart.com. Bob, thank you for being with us. Tell me about the discovery of this child.
Well, Nancy, thank you for having me on to discuss this horrific situation. So Sheriff Lyons announced yesterday that they had recovered the body of this 11-year-old innocent little girl. Just an absolutely tragic event. Yesterday on your show, you discussed...
That's crazy. Oh, my poor young lady is still traumatized. Burning Angel said, so horrific. I feel these days we can't trust anyone, especially around our children. We never know. Gwen says dad and grandma need to be charged with child endangerment and neglect. That's another thing. Again, does anybody know how he even got around to even be able to take her to a bus stop? Maybe they were just unaware. Is there any way that these people were unaware? Or did he have something that they needed? Like, what is going on? Why is this guy in the picture? Why is he at this property? He's not just there for no reason, right? Is he around because he had a connection to something for adult? I mean, what is it, right? Like, I'm just curious. Harley says, so he essays a child, then unalives her, and he gets protected in jail. There's something very wrong with that. Put him in the general population and let the guys give him what he gave her. And you know what? I agree to that 100%. 100%. Lex Luthor, what's going on? Nancy Grace posted a new video today. We'll check it out. We're checking it all
the
out.
Sheriff had taken Mr. McDougal around various places he had been that day. One of the places he took the sheriff's department to was that bridge where they found Audrei's body near one of the bridge pillars underneath the bridge.
Stop right there, Bob Price. Number one, you think I believe one thing that POC says, technical legal term, piece of crap. One thing he says, he's going to twist this every way he can to his benefit. Hey, Bob Price, when he was driving the police around, did he say, oh yeah, that's where I put her body?
So what the sheriff explained is that he just took them to places that he said he had been that day.
So that kind of makes sense for why they were at these places, because if he's taking them, he probably just took them. No, if you think about it, it seems like they're at the right place, but the dam, I don't know. It's weird. I wonder if he took them right by that location.
Kind of accounting for your time, so to speak. And one of the places was over by where they found the backpack. Yes, ma'am.
What? Oh, I feel
Is
great,
it
Gwen.
true?
Thank you.
This guy backed into a tree and left an identifying mark from his bumper on the tree when he was disposing of an 11-year-old girl's body. I think
Yes,
that's
we've
how
been.
they figured it out. They find the backpack, they see that mark on a tree, and they know.
Well, this is the place where the body was found is about 5 miles down the river from where the backpack was found. But yes, he
Oh,
reportedly did strike a tree with his Suburban, and they were able to match both
not that I've seen.
what I've been told, tire tracks and his bumper marks to that location where the backpack was found.
Yeah,
And then
Texas veteran. I got to go back again Monday and get another one. So I had to go get lab work. I ended up getting lab work done. And now I have to go get another one, another MRI on Monday. He said something about he wants a better reading, well, whatever that means.
the body was found lower down the river, and the current's moving very swiftly there. This is just below the Lake Livingston Dam, and the water is high in the lake right now. And so they've been releasing a lot of water. The current's been flowing rapidly, and that's why they were able to lower the level of the lake, as you mentioned.
Oh, snap. Janet, I might have to go back and check that.
Of the river in order to slow the currents down enough that the divers could get in to where they suspected her body would be. And sure enough, they found it there. I asked Sheriff Lyons yesterday if there was any evidence that the body had been weighted down or in any other way rigged to where it would stay underwater, and he declined to answer that comment. He did not say no, which I would think he would.
You said my mom didn't know what happened to me as I was silenced with threats. I feel he groomed her into silence. Remember, he told the mother she won't tell. I'm her favorite person. Yeah, that's true. There was a lot of weird stuff within those text messages. A lot. Stuff that just didn't make sense. Like I may or may not bring, like, I don't know, the maybe, or I may or may not, she may or may not be, I don't know.
Would say no.
It was
if
just
that
word and
wasn't
shit
the
with it.
case, but he declined to answer that.
Can I ask you something, Bob Price? What is so unique about his bumper? Does he have a hitch on it? That they could identify the mark on the tree and match it to his bumper.
I'm not sure exactly how they matched that. It could be that there was maybe evidence of the tree on the bumper, something like that.
I'm looking at it right now.
you,
There's got to
Bernie.
be something unique about that bumper. Maybe there's some paint on the tree.
Hold up, Amber Alert for a 3-year-old missing from for a 3-year-old missing from Two Rivers. He was the caregiver. Interesting. I'll take a look at that.
That will match up. I mean, you can forensically identify a type of paint from a car and trace it to the year, the model, the make, the works, and then go back to his vehicle and find, if you take the time, forensic evidence of tree residue on the bumper. That said, joining me now, in addition to Bob Price, associate editor, senior news contributor, Britt Bart.
Oh, so confirm. Hold up, before we watch this part, I do want to bring this up on the screen real fast. This is what you're mentioning, right? This is what you're talking about. This is the 3-year-old boy. Says an Amber Alert has been activated for a 3-year-old boy who was missing from Two Rivers. Elijah View was last seen by his adult caregiver at 8 a.m. Tuesday at a home in the 3900 block of Mishicot Road. Is that what it says? Mishicot? Police say there were no family members or associates in there. Damn, I lost my spot. There we go. Made it way too big. Good gracious. Elijah View was last seen by his adult caregiver at 8 a.m. Tuesday at a home in the 3900 block of Mishicot Road. Police say there were no family members or associates in the area. I'd have to look at that. It says View has sandy brown hair and brown eyes. He is about 3 feet tall, weighs about 49 pounds, and has a birthmark on his left knee. He was last seen wearing gray sweatpants, a long sleeve dark colored shirt, and red and green dinosaur slip-on shoes. View may be carrying a red and white plaid blanket seen in one of the photos released by police. So this blanket. Authorities are asking neighbors to check outbuildings, vehicles, or other concealed areas on their property. Anyone with a doorbell camera is also asked to check to see if Elijah shows up on video. Anyone with information is asked to call 920-686-7200. That's that story. Hold on, I'll keep this over here with me. I want to check it out more. Thanks for sharing.
Longtime friend and colleague, the gold standard.
Welcome, Lisa.
Mark Class is joining me. Mark Class, founder of Class Kids Foundation at classkids.org,
Really?
has devoted his life to finding missing children after his beautiful daughter Polly was kidnapped and murdered. May that perp rot in hell. Mark Class, so many thoughts colliding in my head right now, because when Bob Price, our investigative reporter, is speaking, he's talking about the currents and the cold water and her body under a bridge. All I can think about is this little girl's body going along with the current, dead, probably face down in that cold, cold water till it lodged under a bridge. An 11-year-old girl, Mark Class, let it rip.
Well, listen, Nancy, before he lowered her body or tossed her body into the
Interesting.
river,
Thanks for sharing, Italy.
he exposed this child.
Thank you for sharing. Thank all of you for sharing some of those details on that other one. The other case we were just looking at, Elijah View. That's a sad case. From what I'm seeing, missing, 3 years old, not found. Wow. Searching a landfill today?
To the worst possible nightmare that anyone could even envision. I mean, she was taken to this place. She was murdered by this guy. She was most likely sexually assaulted by this guy. And he went on with his day after this.
What's up, Tara?
This is a guy that has a criminal history, somebody that is known to have caused harm, yet he was given access to this child. I don't understand this dynamic at all. I don't understand what the priorities were with this little girl's family, that this guy could even have access to then commit the horrendous and dastardly deeds that he did.
It's absolutely obscene.
Hey, who's this speaking?
It is obscene.
That was Bob, sorry.
Hey, Bob Price, I was just about to go to you. Bob Price, investigative reporter, joining us from Breitbart. Bob, something, and I want to go back to Mark Class on this. Remember, everybody else on the panel, I've told you, we're not having high tea at Windsor Castle. Jump in when you feel like it. But Bob Price, yes, no. Isn't it true that the defendant in this case, Don Stephen McDougal, age 42, was spotted at a gas station around 9 a.m. And at that time, he did not have Audrii with him. Is that correct?
Yes, video evidence has proven that up to be true, according to what we've heard.
That's crazy.
It's just absolutely obscene that this man was within 1,000 yards of this little girl at any time. This spot,
that doesn't make sense. And should there be charges? Like, honestly, let's bring that up. Let's bring that up in the votes, right? Because I'm curious of what you guys think here. And on the votes, I'm gonna say, do you think that grandma should be charged? Do you think the grandma should be charged? Yes. No. Okay, let's check it out. Let's see. I want to see what you guys think here on this one.
It's very evident. The man is covered with neo-Nazi tattoos, Aryan Brotherhood tattoos, SS.
A Nazi swastika, for Pete's sake.
Yes, all of these kinds of things.
And in pictures, he's doing the 1-2, AB, Aryan Brotherhood. I mean, it's like, does a piano have to fall on your head to know this guy is bad? Stay away from him. And I'm following up, Bob Price.
Oh, I'm good, though.
Thank you for confirming that. Mark Class, you said this, and chills, arms and legs. He just went on about his day like nothing had happened. There he is filling up with gas after he's been driving around and around and around with this girl's body probably in the car to find a place to dump her body. And look, he's a sex offender. He's already pled guilty to trying to have sex, taking the underwear and the PJs off a little girl, getting in bed with her. How did he get access to another little girl?
Nancy, he showed up at a donut shop across from the courthouse, which is
that's that video we seen early on. I have that video sitting right here.
Is a mile from the jail the next morning. Talk about nonchalant.
Yes, Mark Class, what you said just before Lana jumped in. I got
Mr. Coffee, I don't know that answer, so I can't say grandma knew his history, but you would like to say, yeah. But then again, she probably didn't. You never know. I have no idea. So we'll see how that plays
Lana
out.
Shadwick, high-profile lawyer out of Texas who has made her way out of the courtroom to join us, former Harris County judge and prosecutor, AtlantaShadwick.com. Also added, and she's right, Mark Class, the guy didn't just go for gas. He was propped up at a donut shop. This is after he has disposed of an 11-year-old girl's body in that cold water, Mark Class.
Well, this man has absolutely no value for any life other than his own, or he wouldn't have been able to do that. His conscience would have stopped him. He has no conscience. He's just a killing machine who, for some inexplicable reason, was out and about with an 11-year-old girl. I don't know what anybody was actually expecting the result of this union to be, but my God, my God, if you could only turn back time.
And talk about detached. He goes to a donut shop, which is right across from the courthouse. You can throw a ball and hit the judge's window. I mean, it's down the street from the jail. What kind of narcissist or detached individual is this? You're going to go downtown where the cops are?
Okay, I just violated every rule to be a good trial lawyer. I placed myself in this by thinking of my own children, Mark Class. I really don't know how you even move forward. All I can think about is my girl. I mean, a convicted sex offender who was allowed to plead down his case where he attacked another little girl in her bed.
That's crazy. In her bed?
Access to her home too. Let's think about these similarities. It's like a fingerprint. Now, in addition to attacking,
this is my first time seeing this. Y'all probably seen this. This is my first time seeing this. So he already attacked.
King Alec Bryan, who was with us, Alec Bryan III, I believe, with a knife. Now this, why was he allowed to be around 11-year-old Audrey? And he's out having a donut, Mark Class, a donut. He's pumping his gas after driving. Don't you know he went in all these circuitous routes trying to figure out where to hide this girl's body, this little 11-year-old girl with that big smile. And now he's got to fill up his gas tank and get a donut? Really? That's to you, Class.
Well, I don't know what even to say about something like this, Nancy. I mean, one has to look back at this guy's criminal history and to see how he's been, and his medical history, and to see how he's been diagnosed. I've spent my life trying to keep people like this away from little children. You put out the information, you educate people, you raise awareness, you get laws passed, but still, there are families that are willing to allow something like this, allow a known monster to have access, unfettered access apparently, to their little children. I don't know what anybody expects the outcomes of these kinds of situations to be. It's unbelievable. It's uncivilized. It's nightmarish. It's spawned from the devil himself.
Have you looked at this guy's tattoo?
I agree 100%. Loaded high. I heard he made a deal and didn't have to register as a sex offender after the first arrest? Damn. So you heard that he actually made a deal with these people on that first, what are you saying, the enticement charge or what? Which charge are you referring to also? Nancy Grace had on tonight that her pants were found on the embankment. It's so damn. All right, we'll check that out next.
Tattoos. I'm not trashing tattoos.
What's going
Don't
on, Nancy?
care.
Welcome.
You want to ink up your body? Have at it. But when you put swastikas and Aryan Brotherhood tattoos all over your body, you're like a walking billboard. You might as well walk down 3rd Avenue in New York City with a sign that says, I am a piece of crap. Stay away from me. I mean, who puts a Nazi swastika on their arm in plain view and then insist on wearing the sleeveless wife beater t-shirts? He's proud of it. And his criminal record, jump in.
Yeah, he's a walking billboard for the penitentiary system.
Exactly.
If we, to your point, and I think Mark
you said Dad knew he was an offender. How do you not look up your roommate? Bing bang. Has Dad or Grandma had anything to say as of now? Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen at all. That's a fact.
Absolute warrior for children around this country. He speaks with authenticity. And when we think about this guy being out on the streets, it's just horrendous that he would have had access to this small child.
Guess what I'm holding in my hand right now, guys? A rap sheet. It goes all the way back to 2001, possession of pot,
let's look at
Cleveland, 2002, assault of a public servant, don't know what that was, 2003, drugs, 2003, assault, 2003, more marijuana, 2005, evading arrest, 2006, theft, keeps on going, and meth. Now he's on to meth. And they say pot's not a gateway drug. Okay, whatever. 2007, enticing child. There you go. There you go. That should have been a child molestation charge felony. Unauthorized use of a
Infamous. I appreciate that. You said salute. Have you touched on the story with the last person that he had attacked that they didn't put any charges on him until Audrii? Huh. Was that the video that we just watched before? Or that was a previous person? No, I haven't seen that actually, Infamous Truth Teller. No, I haven't. And I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel. I never trusted my kids with anyone except my siblings. Even then, I never trusted their spouses. Mr. Coffee said, Mr. Claus has fought his whole life for his girl. He's a gift to our children.
Vehicle. Wait.
Oh, sorry.
More aggravated assault, unauthorized use of vehicle. That I guarantee you, that was pled down from a theft by receiving stolen property, being a car. 2014, theft of property, reckless driving, assault for bodily injury, harassment. 2023, resisting arrest. Hold on just a moment. Why am I reading the rap sheet? I have a victim with me right now, Alec Bryan III.
Nope, I have not seen that hide and seek.
Was
You can email it
by this perv, Don Stephen McDougal, in 2010. Alec Bryan III, what happened?
Well, he started working at the place I was at, and
which was where?
Friends brought him over to
what were you working?
We worked in an oil change place in Crosby, Texas.
Yep.
And some friends brought him over to my house, and he got a little belligerent when he was drunk and started making comments and actions towards one of their wives. And
wait. Alec Bryan III. What kind of comment did he make to a woman?
Oh, he was
the previous victim that he attacked prior to this incident. Notification from the police department saying that they had applied charges, and that's what they were holding him on. Okay, I got you. No, I didn't see that. What? I thought it was assault charges, right? Is that what the assault charges were on? Another girl? Interesting. Or are you talking about that stabbing? trying to remember.
Basically, he was grabbing her and hitting on her like he was trying to, you know, do inappropriate things with her.
Pieces.
Have sex with her.
Pretty much, yes, ma'am.
Did he touch any of her private parts?
Nasty
Grab
ass.
her in, touch her breast? What was he saying?
He was just talking. I don't know if where he touched her because I wasn't that part of it, but she had come out and said that he was groping her and that he was saying lewd things about her and how he wanted to have sex with her.
So.
And,
I'm sure he didn't say, I want to have sex with
Eminem.
you. I'm sure he said something along the lines of, I want to F you. I gave up cursing, so sorry about that. Alec Bryan III, and this is in a public place with a group of women and men around.
What's up, Zoe?
Yeah, this was at my house.
So, Alec, if he would do that in front of grown men and women, grope a woman, what would he do with an 11-year-old little girl all alone in his SUV? Or all alone in her home?
And they can't defend herself.
She couldn't
I agree,
defend herself. And in her mind, this is daddy's friend. You know how hard it is to get child molestation victims to speak out? They don't even understand what's happened to them.
That's the truth.
And this is daddy's friend. What's she going to do? She probably thinks, well,
So
daddy
they went on
knows.
vacation together.
What?
They went on vacations together.
Okay, what?
The father did?
How do you know this? Please tell me what you know, Alec Bryan III.
There is a Facebook page called Justice for Audrii Cunningham, and there are pictures on there of them in a vehicle, Dawn and Audrii and a group of family members going on vacation to Florida.
Back to you getting attacked. So,
see, but the thing is, though, is that this is happening all over America right now. This has been happening all over America. It's a, you know what I mean? Like these predators get into these households, or they end up being the babysitter, or you know what I mean? And they get around these kids and they groom them for so long. And kids, it's super weird, and it's definitely system failure. CB, 100%.
the woman comes out and says, this guy is groping me. Then what
She's
happens?
20 now, they said. I seen her. Yep.
Well, her husband tries to fight him, and I stop him, and we just throw him out of the house.
You darn right. The husband better try to fight him. If David Lynch
I
didn't
agree.
punch the daylights out of him, if it were me, we'd be looking at a divorce lawyer right now. So the husband goes in. He tries to take a swing at McDougal. You break it up, and then what happens?
I need justice.
We basically just, I just forced him out of the house, told him he's got to go.
Okay.
And, you know, he's being belligerent with me at this time. And I push him out the door, and then a little time goes by, and I hear somebody beating on the door. It's him. He has a knife, and he's stabbing at my door, trying to get back in the house.
Then what happened?
I grab my shotgun, and I open up the front door, and he comes at me with the knife, and I hit him in the face with the gun, with the barrel of the gun, and get him back out the door, and we call the cops.
He came at you with a knife?
Yes, ma'am.
Then what happened?
Like I said, I hit him in the face with the barrel of the gun and pushed him out and slammed the door and called the cops.
Should have blew his ass away right there. Pop! Laid him down. Right with that shotgun. Regardless, if history was known, they all seen his behavior. Allowing a child to tattoo him is clear red flags that kids shouldn't be around him. Jennifer Roth agreed. I just watched the new Nancy Grace tonight. We're checking it out right after.
Once again.
Well, so far you're the only one that has gotten justice with this guy, Don Stephen McDougal. And it seems like even the barrel end of a gun didn't teach him a lesson, because here he is with this 11-year-old girl. Dr. Kendall Crowns, help me out, guys.
20-year-old, right?
Chief Medical Examiner, Tarrant County. Lecturer, Texas Christian University Medical School, has performed literally thousands of autopsies. Dr. Crowns, thank you for being with us. Please give me some good news, if there is any good news right now. Forensically, did.
Hold on, Scotty Jones says, was dad in an intimate relationship with McDougal? On McDougal's Facebook, it said, I'm looking for a couple for friendship, and he was posing with no shirt on.
Oh my God!
Cold water.
I seen that too, by the way.
Help us in any way to determine COD, cause of death.
So the cold water will slow down the decompositional process, so it will preserve injuries better. Instead of the injuries being obscured by the body decomposing, they'll be kept intact. So in that manner, it'll aid the investigators with the case because there'll be less decomposition.
Dr. Kendall Crowns, you've performed so many autopsies. When you see a child like Audrii laying there on
Should
your
have never.
autopsy
Nope.
table, I don't know. Are you like me? Sometimes I don't know whether to cry or be angry or just throw up, just vomit. How do you do it?
There's always an emotional component with children, but you have to always say to yourself, you're here to get the answers. You're here to catch those people that have caused this death, or for that matter, to exonerate people that have been blamed for it. But you're there to get answers, and you can't let your emotions cloud your judgment or make you biased.
Alec Bryant III, who was assaulted by this same guy, Don Steve McDougal, now person of interest, suspect in the brutal murder, and I guarantee you the rape of an 11-year-old little girl.
So it says it, and also I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and we are gonna watch the next one. But it's missing Audrii. What was tied to a rock in a swirling river? Pants found at river's edge. What?
My guess is alone in the car with this guy who is living in a camper in daddy's backyard. You are quoted saying that he came back to your house and started stabbing the door and the tires of the cars. He pulled the knife on you and came at you. Most important, you're not surprised to hear he's involved in Audrii's disappearance. Why do you
Spicy Irwin. He said this is happening more and more, and CPS is overwhelmed and no foster homes to take them to. So we all have to be a village. There's essay on previous child. Darlene, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. As you guys are coming in, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you vote up top too. Do you think that the grandma should be charged? Do you think that she should be charged for this guy being around? Or do you think that it's just, hey, no, that's not the way things should work here. There needs to be some major changes. Again, Audrii's Law. I feel like there should be Audrii's Law after this. I heard this yesterday, Carlette says.
Say that.
Not at all, because it was just a couple of years ago I saw it on Facebook where somebody was looking for information on him because he was sending lewd pictures to their little girl.
Really?
Dear Lord in heaven, slow it down, EB the third. What did you just say?
Somebody had posted on Facebook about him, a picture of him and his name, saying that he was sending lewd pictures to their daughters.
To their daughters.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Mark Class, does it never end with this guy?
Well, I think that that's an important point. I mean, this guy is a habitual criminal. This guy has been doing.
All right. Thanks for sending that, by the way. I seen it. Here it is right here. This is what you were talking about, Stephen McDougal. Polk County Talk, kids-free clothing exchange is currently short of clean, wearable winter tops for both girls and boys, size 5T and 7A. Is that what it said? If you have any and would donate them, it will be greatly appreciated. KFCE is located at the corner of 190 and 3156. We have large green donation boxes in the front and back of the building. Thank you in advance for all the support you give to KFCE. Now, this is Stephen McDougal, 16th of November, 2023 on Polk County Talk. Thank you for sending that in, Kev.
Dastardly, horrible things his entire life, and exactly where does the prosecutor get off thinking that being light on this guy is somehow going to change it and make it better for the next individual that has to face him? Obviously, this guy has done how many years? Over 20 years.
Nobody should have to
criminal
face him
activity,
again.
Non-stop criminal activity,
do you mean?
assault, going after little girls, doing all of these horrible things. Yet here he is on the street in a car with a little girl. And who is he? He's daddy's friend. You know what, Nancy? He's daddy's friend until he isn't daddy's friend. He's daddy's friend until he takes her out of the car and starts doing whatever the hell it is that he did to her that made him believe he had to throw her dead body into a river. It's just pure evil. Why is this guy even existing? Why is this guy even on the face of the earth? Certainly, why is this guy in society?
I'm about to go to our shrink, Karen L. Stark, joining us out of New York, renowned TV, radio trauma expert.
You definitely got that
consultant.
crazy eye.
But Lana Shadwick, set it up for me. Here is a guy with this long record. You were a prosecutor, you're a judge, now you're a high-profile lawyer in this jurisdiction, Livingston, Texas. You know what? Every time I would get a case, it could be a car theft, it could be a nickel bag, it could be any number of things. And if I saw the defendant had a gun, all I could think about was my fiance, Keith, getting
No
murdered.
deals DP worthy.
And I would insist on jail time every time I could get it. Why in the HELL? When this guy crawled into a little girl's bed
Right.
and wrestled off her pajamas and her underwear, why did he get a cheap plea and walk out free? Walk out.
Yeah. I agree with you, Nancy. For real. This is why I love Nancy. I agree. How did he get a plea to walk out? Yeah, that doesn't make no sense whatsoever. What's going on there? What kind of lawyer did you have?
Out free.
I don't know what they do in Brazoria County, but that won't fly in Polk County, in East Texas. I'm just telling you right now.
And another thing, there he is. I have to find out from Alec Bryan III that this guy is sending lewd, which means his penis. That's what that means. Pictures to her daughters on Facebook. He's not even trying to hide it, for Pete's sake. That was never prosecuted. I'm just hearing about that the first time right now, Lana.
Yep. Well, and not only that, there was a stabbing in August that he was being held on since, I guess, Friday with regard to an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's a clue. In Texas, that's what we call a clue. So he's
That's
got
what I call a
history.
similar transaction. With me is psychologist Karen Stark at KarenStark.com. That's Karen with a C in case you need her. Karen, number one, who is this guy except, I hope, about to enter death row? But who are these people that kept...
Listen to this shit. They're giving marijuana dealers more time than they do these sick people. Right? They give, I mean, and then that's not to say if some of those people who are dealing marijuana, because some of them couldn't be him, right? Some of those people that are doing that, they come in, child predators come in all different forms. It's not just one form like him. They come in all different forms, and they're on both sides and both genders. It's more with men, I feel like, but it is both genders, right? And how did that dude get a plea on the first go around? That is crazy. That is crazy. Enticement does not require registry. M71 says. I know multiple people have been touching up on that. Plumbing Explained says, bro, I was facing 15 to 20 years for marijuana cell charges. That is crazy as hell. And you got dudes like this, right? You got dudes like this that commit this, or let's just say commit SA, and they get a little slap on the hand, and then they go and do it a second time. What do they get the second time? Maybe 5-10 years, get back out, do it again, or maybe even 2 years. Okay, get right back out, do it again. That's what they do over and over. So it's like, dude, at this point, I feel like the courts or just our government in general should be able to See, hey, man, it's hard to rehabilitate these type of people. They keep doing the same shit, right? They keep doing the same shit. So we cannot keep trying to put these people through programs and get all types of help just to come back out and do the same exact shit and end up killing a little girl or a little boy. It is just that simple. It's time to shut that shit down. And the way you shut that down is you start penalizing everybody who lets some creepy motherfucker like that come around. And you start with the list, making sure that people get properly convicted when they're doing these type of things. I don't know. Because it's not working now. We have something in place, but it's not solid enough. It is felling multiple families over and over again. So it is time to go back to the drawing board, America, and change the law in every single state and name it Audrey law too. How about that?
Letting him off over and over and over.
Nancy, it's impossible to understand how he was able to get away with this. It just doesn't make any sense. He is a psychopath. There's no surprise at all.
Man, this shit's hard to listen to, honestly. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is hard to listen to. Like hearing the details over and over again and seeing this dude, I don't know. It makes me want to just jump through the fucking screen. Excuse my language. Sorry, God, but I'm serious. This is crazy.
He was out there and committing these crimes and after young girls, and he's a walking advertisement with those tattoos. He's telling you who he is.
Okay, I know all that. No offense, Karen Stark. I know all that. I can see all that. I'm asking you, what is he psychologically? Who is he, and how has he managed to charm people to let him into their lives?
Nancy, a textbook case of a psychopath. He has no conscience. He could be out there eating a whole meal after he killed her. And yes, you're right. There's no doubt in my mind that he sexually assaulted her, that he probably raped this little 11-year-old, and he does not have a conscience, just like Mark said. So it doesn't mean a thing to him. He could be out there and then do it again and again and again.
Man, that's so hard to hear. I'm telling you, it's hard. It's boiling. Audrey's Law, America.
And it just is shocking. I don't have an answer for why he kept getting off and being allowed to be out there. In addition to which, why was he living on the property? How could somebody not see with the way that he presented himself that he was a danger to this little girl and should never have been around her?
Bob Price joining me, associate editor, senior news contributor, Breitbart. You can find him at Breitbart.com. Bob Price, again, thank you for being with us. I understand that Audrey's body was lodged on something underneath a bridge. Is that correct?
Yes, yesterday I was down there by the river and I noticed a large number of uniformed tactical police officers in the area. There were boats in the area, probably 30 to 40 people right in that one area where the body was found. And that is unusual based on what the previous day's activity had been at those locations. So clearly sometime Sunday night, or excuse me, not Sunday night, these days are running together now, Monday night, the EquiSearch people, we believe, discovered using their sonar, discovered that her body was lodged down there.
Oh
the
my
currents
God.
were too strong at that point in time to get her out, and so the police were there to secure that area. Later on Tuesday, they declared it to be a crime scene. As of this morning, we have an update that.
And the thing is this guy wasn't even registered. Like, he wasn't required to register, and that slap on the hand, whatever plea deal he took, we need those plea deals to be off the table. That shouldn't be allowed, right? Maybe their evidence was weak in the case. What was it? Was there evidence weak in the case? Is that why he got a plea deal and was able to, slip out of it a little bit? Did the prosecution say, well, we can offer him this deal because it's not strong, he might be, well, I wonder what it was that made them offer a plea deal, because it just doesn't, I don't know. It's not ringing for me. The Aryan Brotherhood, maybe many kids, but What? They don't condone child. Yep, SA nor murder of children. Most of all the Aryan Brotherhood will get him in prison. They'll definitely get to him either way. PC too. You might get touched in PC. You never know. Mickey Morgan says they will hear on the inside what we hear. He won't last long. Surely he's been knocked around with that cockeye.
District Attorney Shelley Sitton has now filed the capital murder charges against Don Stephen McDougal. And this is not the only child he was hanging around with in recent months. There's another little girl who's a friend of Audrey's. Audrey went to her birthday party, and Stephen McDougal thinks that going to 11-year-old girls' birthday parties is a cool thing to do. And these parents who obviously know who this guy is think it's okay for this neo-Nazi Aryan Nation hate group wearing tattoo. I can't even describe all this stuff. You know, for them to bring this thug, this animal, to their children's birthday party.
You know, I'm thinking back, Lana Shadwick, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I remember when the twins were born, they were very premature. And we have a relative who's perfectly nice, but he smokes. I wouldn't even let him come in and visit the twins because he smoked. And I didn't want, you know, nicotine can trigger sudden infant death syndrome. And it hurt me to do it. I love him. But he couldn't come in. So how in the hell do you let a Nazi Aryan brother around your children?
Well, there's two theories to that. Not taking up for him or anything like that, but there's a social media.
Yeah, and that shit stands out like a sore thumb. You're standing out with a shirt off, shit.
A video post of an
Crazy as
individual who's had altercations with McDougal, and she said he's charming, he works you wouldn't believe anything, and then boom. And she was in the car with him. He took a cell phone away from her. Wait,
drinking from the fire hydrant. First, Alec Bryan III tells me about this guy coming at him with a knife. Nothing happened. He walked right out of jail. Then I find out he's trying to send, we believe, penis shots to little girls. Now, what happened with the woman in the car? Why did he take away her cell phone?
Thank you, Sigma. Sigma says, thank you for covering this and being a voice for Audrey and many more. I know this is super tough at times to say, but at the very least, for sure, I appreciate you and what you do. Much love, T and Rev Gang. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sigma. Thank you for showing love to the channel. Always appreciate you guys showing support. If you're just coming in, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, we are checking out the new shocking details that came out in this case. It's hard to sit here and listen to this, to be honest with you, but we got to push through it. And I feel like that I'm putting this out right now. So let's see what I got here. I'm over here typing it up right now as we speak, actually. So I'm going to actually post it. And it says, this petition is deeply personal as it stems from the tragic story of Audrii Cunningham, a little girl whose life was brutally taken away by Don Stephen McDougal, a sexual predator. This devastating incident is not only an isolated case, but reflects a border problem in our society. America is failing its families and children by not having robust enough laws to protect them from such heinous acts. According to RAIN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, every 9 minutes, Child Protective Services are called in to find evidence for a claim of child abuse or child sexual abuse. Trigger warning, by the way. These statistics are alarming and demonstrate the urgent need for change. We demand that lawmakers implement stricter laws against sexual predators and enhance protection measures for our children. Now it says we cannot afford to lose more innocent lives like Audrey's due to legislative negligence. It's time we prioritize the safety of our most vulnerable citizens, our children. Please sign this petition to urge lawmakers to make immediate action and create stronger laws protecting children from sexual predators. Now, I'm going to post a picture of Audrii on here. 1 second. And then I'll post the link in chat. 1 second. I got it right here. Download. Why is it giving me that file, though? We want...
I do not know. She knew she was in trouble, but I don't believe charges were filed. I don't believe she went to the authorities, but she's talking now.
Why would he take away her cell phone? That's not good.
So you can't
Okay, here
use
we
it.
go.
It calls for help.
Okay. I'm just having a hard time taking all of this in. I want to talk about also the brilliance of how they lowered the water in this entire body of water to reach the child. Joining me is, he's been very quiet, which is uncharacteristic, Chris McDonough, director, Cold Case Foundation, former homicide detective, host of a YouTube channel, The Interview.
Okay, here you are. Here it is right here, ladies and gentlemen. It is in chat. That is it right there. Let me go over here and post this. I'll pin it at the top for you guys. All right. Check it out. This is for the Audrii Law. There it is right there, pinned.
Where I found him, Chris McDonough.
People.
I've done a lot of water searches and diving myself, but I've never seen an entire body of water lowered, the water level lowered to get to the victim. Tell me how it's done, because you have.
You know, that was a great investigative move by law enforcement in this case, by working with the Trinity River Authority engineers. And basically, as we're aware, there's a reservoir above. And so what they do is they close what they're called lock gates.
We'll see it M71.
Which controls the flow of water downstream, because everybody knows water goes in one particular direction. And that in of itself then, opened up an opportunity for the search forensic diving teams to, maybe they got dogs on boats where sometimes you can get the scent.
And remember, everybody, dogs can smell your scent, your clothes, a dead body, you name it, even in water. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, ma'am. And so whenever you have a body dump into water, there are a lot of considerations from an investigative aspect have to be taking place almost immediately. The first one question I want to know is, was she alive when she went into the water?
Oh, dear Lord in heaven. Why would you make me think about that? I haven't even considered that. Hey,
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. We have to think about it. And when you present it to a jury,
see you crack a cold
you
case.
damn well better not have tears in your eyes or even blink.
Right.
Dr. Kendall Krause, let's follow up on what Chris McDonough just said. Crowns, Chief Medical Examiner, Tarrant County, this jurisdiction, Texas. Dr. Kendall Krause.
Yeah, make sure you share it. Just share that around. I mean, people say it does nothing, but I don't know. Doing nothing is when you're quiet, I feel like. So
in a nutshell, no Latin phrases, no medical terms. How do you determine if this child was alive when she was put in the water?
Thank you, everybody.
So usually when an individual drowns, there will be changes in the body that you can find, which include fluid on the lung.
Yeah, CKI. He tied her down on rocks. That's what is being said, reported out there.
Pulmonary edema. They will often swallow a lot of water into their stomach, so you'll look for that. Those two are the main criteria for looking for drowning.
I don't understand what you just said. You're saying, Dr. Kendall Krause, to tell somebody drowned alive, they were put in the water alive, you'd find pulmonary edema. I thought that was water around the heart.
Water around the heart would be in the pericardial sac, which is the sac surrounding the heart. So you wouldn't see any water in the heart. You'd see water in the lungs. So
water or fluid? You mean lake water? Lake water.
Lake water in the lungs causing fluid in the lungs.
Why did you say should have pulmonary edema? A, what is that? Two, when you could have so easily said she'd have lake water in her lungs.
Well, because if you're alive and you're thrown into the water when you're alive, you'll
I
be
just shared. Also, if you follow me on Twitter, I just shared it. Make sure you retweet it and like it if you do follow me.
gasping and inhaling the water. So you would pull that into your lungs and into your stomach, or into your airways and into your stomach. You would find that in the autopsy findings.
How do you examine the lungs to determine there's water, and how do you, well, I mean, 2 and 2
At
still
least that's
equals
on
4.
that so
How do you
fast.
determine that water was from the lake, or do you really even have to?
So you can do with the autopsy, the lungs will be heavy and full of fluid, and then on histology or microscopic examination, you can look for debris from the lake water in the airways.
I don't know if you guys came in before or even knew, but the autopsy did confirm that she died before she was dumped into the river. So everything beforehand, so he could have been her body. I wonder if her body could have been in the vehicle during, but it was probably already dumped during that time they were meeting with him, etc. Right, because they supposedly met up with him. Remember when it came across Broadcastify and all the different scanners that man admits or confessed, but in reality he took them to multiple locations that he was at that day or whatever. Right? What's going on, Robert? You said, so was she still weighted down under the water, T-REV? That's what they're saying. Water in the lungs, Carla says. There's a new video that just came out with even more information, and we're checking that out after this one. If you are just coming in, check out the petition up top for Audrii Law. Make sure you vote on the poll. You think grandma should be arrested? I see people that said the whole family. And again, hit the like button. Let's go.
Yes, debris from the lake water. How do you get the water and any
You're welcome, CK.
debris therein out of the lungs in order to analyze it?
Well, you wouldn't get it out. You would actually take sections of the lung at autopsy that then would be processed and turned into microscopic sections to look at under the microscope. And that debris would still be there because it would be entrapped in the airways.
Bob Price joining me, investigative reporter, associate editor, senior news contributor, Breitbart. Bob, I know that there was a recreational lake. Is she found in the lake, or is she found in the river that feeds into and out of the lake?
So Lake Livingston is the second largest lake in Texas, and she was found below the dam in the Trinity River. The lake is a contributing waterway to the Trinity River, about 5 miles downstream from where the dam is and from where the backpack was found. So it's still unclear at this time if she entered the water or was placed in the water near the dam and floated downstream and became entangled in the bulkhead or in the pilings of the bridge, or if McDougal, because he said he went to that bridge that day, that area, did McDougal place her there and trap her in that area where her body would hopefully, on his part, never be found? Those are the questions that we still need to get from the district attorney's office as this investigation unfolds.
Mark Class joining me, founder of Class Kids Foundation, classkids.org. Mark, let me talk to you about the defendant. You've dealt with so many child killers.
Mm.
Do you think this guy intentionally put her in the river so her body would travel far from the disposal spot?
Mm. That's a good question. That's a very good.
I mean, I think he was trying to disappear her. I don't think there's any question about that. But I wonder, listening to this guy's history and listening to what this guy's been allowed to do, if this little girl ever had a chance. I mean, the minute this guy stepped on that property and was allowed to stay on the property, I think that this child was doomed. And I think that the supervising adults around her should have understood and realized that. And they didn't. They failed their child in the worst possible way.
So far, 43 signatures. Wow, that was pretty fast. 43 signatures.
It's absolutely unbelievable. Who lets a neo-Nazi live on your property? A neo-Nazi. lets a neo-Nazi live on their property, particularly somebody that's got the uniform, that proudly wears the swastikas, that proudly carries his criminal history, that looks forward to more mayhem, and it's always escalating, Nancy. These things always escalate, and at the end, and we've talked about this hundreds of times, at the end, there's a dead little girl or a dead little boy, and we all go, well, gee, how could this have happened? Well, sometimes it's inevitable.
You know, Mark, you're right. Inevitable. I feel like Audrey never had a chance.
The scene at the dinner drop off.
I want to go back to Alana Shadwick joining us.
Zero chance.
Former judge, prosecutor, now lawyer in this jurisdiction, Livingston, Texas. What now, Lana? I mean, will anybody ever fess up? Yeah, I gave him a cheap deal. Yeah, I didn't prosecute. Yeah, we didn't indict him. I mean, there's one thing after the next, one offense after the next. This guy, for Pete's sake, is using meth. Meth, of all things.
Well, the Polk County District Attorney filed capital murder charges on McDougal, and that was yesterday. He has no bond right now, and she's charged him with capital murder because it involves a child 10 years to 15 years old.
Yeah, I had to look at that.
So there's been something done about this.
Now,
Life is a breach.
Now
is a beach.
But if he'd been prosecuted for sending penis pictures, we think.
Oh my God.
Lewd photos to little girls, or if his case hadn't been pled down to nothing when he wrestled the underwear and PJs off another little girl, he would have been in jail, and Audrey would be alive today. He would have been in Daddy's camper in the backyard, for Pete's sake.
If he had been arrested in August for that aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And who gave the father or the grandmother custody of this child such that they're friends with McDougal? And this is who you're going to let pick up your daughter from the bus stop, or take her to the bus stop, or take her to school?
Right.
You know, how do you reconcile yourself, Mark, Chris McDonough, to the fact that the only thing we can do now is get justice for this little girl? That's the only thing left to do. She's not going to go to high school. She's not going to go to
It gets
senior
worse.
prom.
Yeah, we're about to check out the new one right now in 2 minutes.
She's not going to play basketball or softball for the school. She's not going to be a cheerleader. She's not going to college. She's not going to marry and have children. It's over. And she died a horrible death, and her body is thrown in the cold, cold waters of a running river. And all we're left with are pictures on Facebook and a courtroom. We got to fill with the jury and get the death penalty. That's what we're going to do. Final thoughts, Mark Class?
Well, yeah, Nancy, the death penalty hopefully ensures that this guy will never get out of prison again. That's why the death penalty needs to exist.
No way. No way. No way. No way he beats this. No way. No way. I'd be blown away. Then again, I was blown away back when Casey Anthony walked. I remember when that verdict came through, we all gasped.
Has to be a line drawn in the sand to keep these guys maybe not into the execution house, but at least out of society, and keep them someplace isolated and segregated where they can never touch another innocent human being. It's the only way to create public safety in a situation like this. Absolutely.
Execution is good.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, death or life without parole. That's another option. Or life.
Not really.
Life.
No. Life without parole changes all the time. Laws change all the time. It's a situation in California now where a lot of people that are on death row might be getting resentenced.
No.
So no, you have to have a
Yeah,
death
do I have to
penalty,
say
because
Charles
if you don't have a
Manson?
death penalty,
He got the DP. Remember, Mark? He got the death penalty
Of
for how
course.
many
Yes.
people did he
Yes.
help kill? And then the law changed, and he had the rest of his rotten life to have online friends, women wanting to have sex with him, a website, making money,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. That's
Yeah,
what happens on life without parole.
And a disciple that's willing to try to assassinate a president of the United States to impress him. These guys are so dastardly and so
You're
awful.
welcome, Angie.
They have to be on death row. They have to be cut off from society. Otherwise, they continue to have an influence.
Look, this is what I've got to say, and a lot of people aren't going to like it, but it's on you. Every prosecutor that let him off easy and took a cheap plea so you wouldn't have to go to trial. Everybody who didn't call police, not you, Brian the third, because you call police. You
No, it's my fault too,
something.
Nancy.
What?
It's facts too.
It's my fault too, Nancy. I should have pulled the trigger that night.
Yeah.
You at least got a piece of him with a gun butt, friend.
Wow.
And you call police.
That's not enough.
Everybody that didn't put him in jail, everybody that turned the other way, everybody that exposed this Nazi sex perv freak to their children, it's on
Thank you, Italy.
We wait as justice unfolds. Goodbye, friend.
All right, we're about to check out the new one real quick. Hold up. There's a lot. I've seen a lot of you talking about it, and I see it right here. So let's do it. Right? Boom. Boom.
Did 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham ever have a chance?
Now this came out 3 hours ago, so we're watching this. We got to see this, and they're saying there's way more information compacted into this. Okay, bet.
Her mother is now posting heart-wrenching messages about how she, quote, failed her daughter. The father had her living in his home with his grandparents, and in the backyard is a Nazi Aryan brother covered in hate tattoos who would take her to school alone in the car with him with a sex offense. In the last hours, we learned that this 11-year-old little girl, do any of you have little girls or little boys that are or were 11 years old? This little girl's body was weighted down with a rock tied by rope to her body.
Oh my God, that's
Who could do that to an 11-year-old little girl?
so disgusting.
I mean, take a look at this guy. Would you leave your child alone with him? Much less put her in the car with him, give him access to your home with your child asleep in the bed around him? I mean, think about it. One of his last offenses on his rap sheet, oh yeah, he got a sweet plea deal, didn't have to register as a sex offender, and walked free over and over and over and over and over. But this time he had access to a home and was caught in the bed with a minor child, a girl, and had taken off her underwear and PJ bottoms. Now he has access to Audrii, and now Audrii is dead at the bottom of a river, weighted down by a rock. Oh, yeah. Texas, it's on you. You have the DP death penalty, needle. You going to use it?
Hopefully.
Or you let him somehow
Use it.
slip out of this too, because all of his other
Yeah, Nancy, they definitely need to use it on this one. 100%. It just doesn't get any more wicked. This guy had cops going around. He was showing him where he was that day, from the details that we heard so far, anyways. Yeah, he needs the needle. Long story short, he actually needs the shotgun. Right to the head. I could do it and sleep well tonight. Like, very good.
crimes, most of them
That
were
doesn't
in
bring her
Texas.
back.
And he walked. He skipped out of the courthouse, free as a bird. He ran, hopscotched out of the jail each time. And now Audrii
New member,
is
Ghost
dead.
Tiger, what's going on, bro?
I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. Wow, what we have learned overnight by taking a long, hard look at a formal
Yesterday.
affidavit used as an arrest warrant? Wait till they perform those searches. But right now, joining me, in addition to an all-star panel to make sense of the evidence as we know it right now, this lady is a hero. The lady that called police when she...
Does anybody know why they keep saying this is like probably the 30th comment that I've seen? I'm not even joking. I've seen so many different comments saying, I heard she was pregnant. I heard she was what? Like what? If that is true, oh my God.
Spotted this Nazi Aryan brother sex perv who I believe murdered an 11-year-old girl, Audrey.
That's weird as hell.
I believe he raped her, and I believe he weighted her body down with a rock and threw her body in the river. Joining me right now is Leslie Gaskins. She is an Exxon employee, and she's the one that called 911 and landed his rear end behind bars. Of course, then he started lying and lying and lying. But despite his lies, police managed to find Audrey's body. Leslie Gaskins, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Miss Gaskins.
I'm very excited. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what happened when you see the defendant covered in all his tattoos. I don't know if you could see his swastika.
Look at y'all wilding out in here.
But
On my way.
tell me what happened when he came into your Exxon.
Say it was just a few dollars and change for gas. It could have been a couple of beers. I'm not real sure because I didn't know that he was significant. But he was so ugly. I keep saying that. He's just so ugly.
You said, hold on. Plunder had the nerve to start that from some weirdo from Reddit? Oh, nah. Hell no. So Plunder said it in a video, and now a lot of people are echoing it out there that she might possibly have been pregnant. I have not seen that report in one place yet. I've seen the tied to a rock or whatever, weighted down by a rock, but I have not seen that detail yet been reported anywhere. So that's not by any sources or any paperwork.
And so creepy looking that you just don't forget his face.
It's crazy.
And it just, I don't know, his face just stuck with me.
14 months.
And then the next day when I saw his mugshot and they said to call if you had seen him, I called right then. Didn't even hesitate.
What, when he came into your Exxon, are you saying that it was either for gas or beer?
Yeah, it was, yes.
And I'm
Yes,
curious,
ma'am.
hold on, let me get my writing pen. What time of the day did he come in?
It was after 9 o'clock. I
feel like we would have read that on the report, right? That would have been in the paperwork. That would have definitely been in the paperwork. Maybe. And how would that even get out there, though? I don't even know how that's even a rumor right now.
I'm not real sure.
9 a.m., 9 p.m.
a.m. I worked the day shift that day.
Question, was this on February 15, the day Audrey went missing?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I worked the day shift that day.
What time do you go in?
I go in at 5:15 in the morning.
You're there first thing in the morning. Now, February 15, I believe, was a Thursday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're there at 5 a.m., 5:15. You get everything opened up and ready. What were you doing? Were you behind the counter when he came in?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. There was a line of people, and he was just in the middle of the line.
Did he smell of alcohol or anything else? Pot, cigarettes?
No, I didn't notice, and he wasn't dirty like they said.
Right.
When he went to the mechanic shop.
Yeah.
He wasn't dirty and all that either.
So this is 9 a.m.
So again, if you're just coming in, not confirmed at all, just speculation that she was pregnant. I don't even know why that would even be. Right? Like, why would that even be speculation? Without it being confirmed anyways. I mean, to speculate something like that without no confirmation is woo.
I'm trying to place that time in the line of events that we have so far. Do you recall what he was wearing?
I don't.
What about him stands out to you?
His face, his beard, his eyes. He has like a crazy eye.
Yeah,
What
does
article?
one
Which
look one way and one look?
hold up. What are you talking about, Infamous? You said I got to get out of here. Too bad. But I'm just telling you, I know what you think that is not a good article, but what article are you talking about? Maybe you're talking to somebody else.
Look the other way?
It kind of does, just ma'am.
I've tried to
And
figure
I
that out
think
because
that
in
he,
some pictures they look like they're both
Nothing.
looking at you, and in others, one looks like it's looking off.
yes. And I think he's was kind of a regular here. I think I've seen him in here before
What's your
because
recollection?
I remember his eyes. He's just
the eyes. Yeah, the first time I saw his eyes, they're very light blue, and they're piercing, and there's just something off. Now, could you see all of his tattoos?
No, ma'am, I don't think I could. I think I could see like a little bit around his neck. I think he had a t-shirt on. He didn't have a tank
You said because
top.
that's how people are. What's going on, K-Dog? Welcome to the stream. Ginger Roo, nice to see you. So how old was she? She was 11 years old. Rhythm, what's going on? Welcome. Gene, 11. You said 11 could be old enough. Unlikely, but still possible. Trish Faust said. Gene, it's all bullshit rumors. Talk to him. Pickle Toes grandma said that would be on the autopsy report, right? That she was pregnant. And the autopsy report did confirm today that Audrii was dead before she was in that water. So she didn't. They're saying that anyways, but we'll see as Nancy reports on this. And I know that there's paperwork out on this too, because I've seen it with my own eyes.
Did you by chance see his hands?
Yeah, but I really didn't pay that much attention.
Darn. I'm wondering if there were any scratches on his body, on his neck, his chest, his arms, his hands. Did he have on a long sleeve shirt?
No, I don't think so.
Did he say anything to your recollection?
Just whatever he was getting, you know. It's 4:33 and gas keeps sticking in my head.
Does you think he has those Kohlberger eyes? Nah. What do you think? What, Kohlberger or him? Which one? Cheryl Springfield says, yes, I saw that. Someone was speculating about the Y and P came up. The person wasn't saying it was even true, just asking why that day. I got you. And it just probably picked up from there. And it does spiral out because people will echo it and it goes on and on. That's how it ended up here in chat. I would hope that is a rumor is still going. Someone needs to bring that or bring it to T-REV or to Trev so he can look into it. I haven't seen nothing on it. I'm telling you, just what it sounds like.
So
4:33 and gas.
At that time, you noticed him and you remembered him because of his eyes
crazy.
and his tattoos. And what happened next? He leaves. You don't think any more about it until when?
Till I saw him on Facebook the next morning.
What's up, YouTube?
His mugshot saying if you'd seen him, he was the last seen with Audrii. If you had seen him, please call. And so I did.
Would it concern you if he gets out on bond, if he's walking free?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Of course.
Because he's dangerous. He's crazy.
And
he
you're a
doesn't need
witness.
to be out.
Did you ever meet or see Audrii or her father or mother or grandparents?
I know my daughter is friends with Audrey's mother. And we've known Audrey when she was smaller, but not seen her here recently.
Why wasn't the mother living with her?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Because it sounds like to me, she was in a worse situation than if she would have been with her mother. You know?
Does the mother live in town there?
She lives in Livingston, I believe.
Okay, with a population of a little over 5,000 people, how far
Yeah,
away could it
exactly.
be?
Yeah.
Did you know her dad?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why that would even be talked about. I highly doubt that dude's getting out on bond. And if he did, let's just say he did. In this case, I really do feel someone would kill him if he got out on bond. In this case, I feel someone would kill this dude if he got out on bond.
No, I do not know him.
Do you know how the dad knows the perpetrator?
Thank you, Cindy. Nice to see you.
Friends, if you look on on his Facebook, they have, he's been tagged in posts of the dads for years, it looks like.
You are hearing the voice of Leslie
You're welcome.
Gaskins, the Exxon employee who saw the suspect on the morning that Audrey goes missing and called police. Ms. Gaskins, thank you. I hope you are prepared to testify.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I will do my part. He shouldn't have never been out anyway, not with his rap sheet. He should have never been out.
Ms. Gaskins, thank you so much. Joining us now, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now, but overnight, this is what we learn. Listen.
According to court documents, Don Stephen McDougal used a rope consistent with a rope seen in his vehicle 2 days earlier during a police traffic stop to tie a large rock to the body of Audrii Cunningham to weigh it down in the Trinity River.
Investigators were able to locate the body of Audrii Cunningham in the Trinity River by using cell phone records and video analysis, but they also needed help from the Trinity River Authority to lower the level of the water on the river so divers could find Audrey.
After removing her body from the Trinity River, Sheriff Byron Lyons said she was taken to the Harris County Medical Examiner's office in Houston to determine the cause of death.
Joining us, an all-star panel, but first to Bob Price joining us, associate editor, senior news contributor, Breitbart, Texas. Bob, thank you for being with us. Tell me about the rock that was used to weight down this 11-year-old girl's body.
So, Nancy, I had suspected that he had used some kind of a weight or device to tie her down. I asked Sheriff Lyons about that during the press conference on Tuesday when they announced that they had found her body. And at that time, he did not want to disclose the information as to what he had used to weigh her down, but he did not deny that she had been held underwater by some type of apparatus and stuff. So now we know that there was a rope used, a rope that was seen in his vehicle 2 days before during a traffic stop, which again reemphasizes that the avoidability of this tragedy, had there been an arrest warrant for Mr. McDougal on an aggravated assault where he stabbed an individual back in August and was identified by the victim as the attacker in this assault, there would have been a warrant for him during that traffic stop, and he would have been in jail 2 days before her death.
You know what? I've been torturing myself all night long about coulda, shoulda, woulda. We have been looking at the affidavit attached to a warrant and gleaning information about the death of this 11-year-old girl and what was transpiring during the time after daddy leaves the house and the defendant is there alone with the little girl. Joining us right now,
Bing bong.
Finish him.
Tim Miller, the founder of Texas EquiSearch, who actually went and searching the waterways, trying to find Audrii. Tim Miller, thank you for being with us. You've done so many water searches. Tell me about this search and the discovery of her body. When you were using sonar, looking through the water there, which has a pretty good current to it, could you tell at that time she was weighted down?
Well, Nancy, when we got involved in that, the sheriff actually called me.
Muted. I do that a lot lately, huh? That's because I'm multitasking. My bad. I was looking at emails, muted myself so I didn't talk. Justice for Audrii. Muted. Love it. How many times do I do that every stream? At least once every stream now, right? Good now? There we go. My bad. I'm sitting here talking the whole entire time, reading comments out loud and everything to myself as usual, but it's all good.
Friday and said he needed our help, and we had many ground searches. Saturday, we found something right along the shoreline, which ended up as being evidence. So where that was found, I decided I need to start.
Okay, wait. Are you talking about the Hello Kitty backpack?
No,
look more at that
else,
one.
Not the backpack.
What?
We found something right at the edge of the river. I don't want to disclose that now.
Was it a shoe?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it clothing?
It was clothing. So I decided I wanted to start.
Was it a girl's clothing?
Yes, ma'am. And it definitely is evidence. It 100%.
Y'all probably heard finish him and bang bong, and we're like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, they should finish his ass before trial. They should. That's what I was saying. I was saying they should finish him before he even makes it. That's exactly what I was saying, word for word.
Is evidence.
I mean,
So
hold on just a second. Joining me, Director of Victim Services there in Texas, joining me out of Houston, Andy Kahn, longtime colleague. Andy, the girl's clothing, obviously the girl was sex assaulted. Why would she not have clothing on? Why would her clothing be separate from her body? I mean, this guy needs to be on death row. It's not the first time, Andy. What in the hay is going on in Texas? This guy had offense after offense after offense. And now I'm hearing from Tim Miller, article of clothing found at the edge of the river. And Tim Miller, who, by the way, is a crime victim himself, his daughter was murdered, is out there and sees this. What's going on?
You know, Nancy, there's a reason we have the death
pants. Oh my God.
penalty in the state of Texas, and McDougal is now the poster boy why we have the death penalty.
No. You can blow your horn about Texas and justice, but why was this guy? Why was he out free? He had already crawled in between the sheets with another little girl and taken off her underwear and PJs. He's got one offense after the next.
How do you said? I just please drop your email one more time. All right, I dropped it for you. I think I wrote it wrong, and I'm ready to send that link again. I just must have typed it wrong. I think that's what you were gonna say, but I don't see it from you.
The man is using meth, for Pete's sake. The Nazi tattoo alone should have gotten him kicked off the property. That didn't work. But that said, don't start preaching to me about Texas as a death penalty. I want to know what this guy's doing out walking around to start with.
The state of Texas failed 11-year-old
Audrii Cunningham.
Blah,
No ifs,
blah,
ands, or buts.
blah.
The state of Texas failed this 10-year-old girl back in 2007 who he evidently was trying to sexually assault.
Hold on. Let me play this real quick.
Out to new details concerning the devastating death of 11-year-old Audrii
1 second, I'm playing
Cunningham.
this real quick.
Tonight, we now know the cause of death. Records from the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office shows Audrii's death was caused by homicidal violence with blunt head trauma. Wednesday, Audrii's body was found in the Trinity River days after she went missing with a rock tied
Blunt head trauma
around
too?
her limbs. Once that was discovered, family friend Don McDougal was charged with capital murder for her death. VFW Post 8568 is helping her family collect money to cover expenses in her honor. In a social media post, they added that after Audrii's memorial is covered, the remaining proceeds will be donated to a nonprofit dedicated to search and recovery efforts of missing people. If you'd like,
Okay, they're talking about that search. I just wanted to hear that because there was a new video that came out. I thought it was going to release some new details. I just want to see.
He got a sweetheart deal. He got sweetheart
How did
deal
you
after
know she was
sweetheart
10 years old? I didn't know that had been made
Um,
public.
That's the one you sent, actually.
Yes, it is. I'm looking at it right now.
We were trying to
Yes, it is.
protect her
I will-
identity.
Yes. I will
Another
send
10-year-old
you-
girl,
yeah.
very similar
10-year-old
to
girl.
Audrii.
So she had blunt force trauma to the head. Oh my gosh. Blunt force trauma. I wonder what we're gonna have to hear these details. We just have to. We have to. We're sucked into the story. You have to. It's hard to listen to. It really is. This shit is hard to listen to.
Very
Yep.
similar. And now this. I mean, you know what, Andy Kahn? My dad, God rest your soul, Daddy, would have killed this guy if he had tried to get in bed with me or my sister or brother.
Exactly.
I don't understand why he got a cheap plea deal. And on the cheap plea deal, Andy Kahn, he didn't even say, I'm guilty. They let him plead nolo contendere. He wouldn't even
No.
admit what he did. I mean, talk about a sweet deal. Texas justice,
and
my
they-
rear end.
Then they cut it down to enticing a child, which isn't
Bernie
even an
Angel. Good
offense
night.
that you have to register for. And that brings us to what we're going to be doing next legislative session. And I made a promise, and I'm going to continue their promise that we are going to
You know,
make a
you
bill.
think I trust a bunch of politicians in a room together? No. I trust
Okay,
you, Andy.
Nancy.
I know
trust
you're going to
me.
do the right thing.
Okay, Nancy. We like that.
Yeah. And
Okay,
I'm going to
can I
make it
get to
happen.
legislation? Let me guess, it's going to be called Audrii's Law.
Yep.
That's
Unfortunately, as
great.
you well
I don't
know,
want the child dead so she could have a law named after her.
Yeah,
I
that's
want her
sad.
alive. I can't have what I want. Now the only thing I can get is a death penalty. That's the only thing we can work toward now. But that said,
my God!
you can tell me about your legislation later. And don't worry, I respect what you're doing. I value what you're doing. I want you to do it. But I guarantee you, if you leave one little crack in that legislation, some defense attorney is going to find a way around it so it won't apply to their client. Think about that. Tim Miller, can I get back to the search?
Yep.
You just got me so upset thinking about her being separated from her clothes. Now, I don't know what
Disgusting.
piece of clothing it is. It could have been a shirt. It could have been her pants. It could have been her underwear. But when you said it's definitely evidence, that makes me think it could have been her underwear.
Well, it was definitely clothing, and it's definitely hers. So I decided to start doing side
Was it her
scans on
pants?
Yeah.
Why does an 11-year-old girl not have her pants on? He raped her.
Exactly.
He raped her.
Exactly.
This animal raped this 11-year-old girl. Okay, back to the search. Guys, when we're talking about sonar, think about you've seen, if you haven't gone fishing yourself, you've seen it on the fishing channel. You can't miss that. It's 24/7, 365. People are fishing. It looks like a blurry iPad screen. They even have them you can hold in your hand the size of a cell phone. And it looks gray, but then you can see black spots. Some are a lot more sophisticated, but those
Yeah,
spots
good night.
are objects in the water. Now, Tim Miller has state of the art. Okay, tell me what happened, Tim.
Well, I started sonaring in that area, and of course, the river was high, the current was strong, and it's like, oh my God, is she going to wash away or what? Sunday, I got what
And
I
what did you
thought was
see that made you know it was Audrii?
well, on Sunday when I sonared, I didn't know if it was Audrii. The conditions were the worst you could ever imagine with sonar. So I went back to the same exact spot, and the image I got, I couldn't get it again. I couldn't get it again. I literally went through that area more than 80 times. And then I got another image, and I said, oh my God. I said I could make out legs and
Now, hold on,
arms.
Tim Miller. You know we don't say OMG on CES Crime Stories, but go ahead. What did
So
it look like, Tim Miller? How could you tell that it was
Jindaru says, question is why? What on earth would motivate this person to kill that little girl? I mean, you could say he's just a monster, but I guess it's so she can't tell on him that he SA'd. That's a very good point, and you may be very right about that. Did he groom all the way up to that point and just acted on it when he was going to take her to the bus stop, or was it well planned? Either way, it don't matter. Put him to bed.
child versus something else?
No, I could make out the body. So I went, but it wasn't as clear because of the currents, because of where it was. It was difficult at best, so that I kept sonared and sonared. And then Monday I sonared
Tim,
again
what
and got.
went through your mind when you spotted that? You must have just been sick to yourself.
I knew it was her, but I couldn't repeat it. And it's like, how come if there's something there, it's got to stay there. And so I got with the divers on Monday and the Texas Rangers. I showed them the
Did
image.
you go
and
down yourself?
No, I didn't dive it. I don't even take a bath, but I'm pretty good at sonar. But
Let me ask you a question. So you guys are diving in a fast current in the river, correct?
No.
Well, on Monday when I showed them the image and we all got together, they said, "Oh my God, I think you're right. I think it's a body. We have to dive on it." Well, the currents were so strong and the river was high that they could never get to that image. So then they decided to shut the
That's
dam.
hard, man.
But
I've done dives in fast currents in rivers, and it's not like on TV. It's really hard to do that, much less to get. Was she all the way down at the bottom because of the rock?
well, she was doing that, and I believe that she was tied to that rope.
I'm sorry,
So
what now? She was what?
She was tied off to that rope.
She was tied onto the rope, and at the other end of the rope was a rock?
Yeah, and so then her body
Or was the
just,
rock on her body and
I was kind of thinking that too. And this is
tied to her body?
No, it's on the rope.
Okay, question. So
Go ahead.
the body, Audrii's body was not on the bottom of the river, on the riverbed. The rock was on the riverbed, and she was in the water.
She was in the water. And so she was just swirling in there, and that's why I could never pick that same image up.
Am I
in the
muted?
same
No, I'm
exact
here.
spot. But I'm going to tell you the best thing he did, Nancy. The best thing he did was tie her off and weight her down. Because if he wouldn't have done that, and she would have floated, that current going 4 miles an hour, in 24 hours, she would have been 96 miles away.
Just like Natalie Holloway. We'd never find her.
The best thing he did for the search efforts was to go ahead and weight her down. Otherwise, again, in that current, and just think if she would have popped up at night when nobody was there, and in 12 hours, she would have been 50 miles away. So you know, it was a blessing in disguise. So, yeah, when I got that image again, they dove on Monday. They could not even get to it because of the currents. They decided to shut the dam, let the water go down. And the next day when I got in there, they found her.
Tim, what do you mean when you say she was swirling and
Got you,
swirling?
Kimberly.
Well, if you can imagine in a current, and there's a big swale there. It's between the Railroad Bridge and 59 South Bridge, which is close together. So the water coming around them pilings and stuff just created a huge eddy. So she was down there just basically almost going in circles and moving around and moving around.
No.
And that's why it was so hard to get her at the very same location. Because when a body's at the bottom, it's going to stay at the bottom until it starts gassing up, and then it'll start moving. So I would go back to the same exact spot, and she wasn't there. I'd go again and then get it.
I'm sorry, but that's wow. That leaves me speechless. Hard details I can listen to.
Located in another area, and she was just moving. She was just moving around, and I anticipate if she wouldn't have been found, of course, she would have never floated. And as bad as it sounds, the fish life and turtles and stuff would have, would have just ate that body, and she would have been found. So it was a huge effort with everybody. And you know what, Nancy? God just put us in the right place at the right time.
Wow.
Tim, not everyone knows that you lost your daughter. So when you get a case like this, what does it mean to you that you found Audrii? You're the one that spotted her on sonar.
You may get me a little bit choked up right now. But when I got home, I said, Laura, thank you. Just thank you. Because if you were still alive, I wouldn't be doing this. I said, thank you, Laura.
That's right.
I'm not saying this to pat myself in the back. There's no ego involved in it. Again, I've just been blessed by God with what He's given me, and I'm pretty good at that sonar. I'm not an expert, but
Tim, you don't have to pat your own back. If it had not been for you spotting her on the sonar, she could have come loose from that rope, and she would have been gone.
She's talking to one of the divers that was out there with the sonar. He's talking about it, how her body was at the bottom and moving around, and it's these details are super hard to listen to. All right, I'm ready.
You said in 12 hours, she'd be 50 miles away.
Yeah.
And we would never have the answer to what happened to Audrii Cunningham. And this savage, this brute, would walk free to attack another
1980.
child. And you know another thing, Tim? We know of these two little girls, 110, 111, very similar in physicality. We don't know how many others are out there because you and I know, Tim Miller, that only one out of, say, 8 or 9 sex assault victims come forward, and that is a conservative figure. You are hearing Tim Miller, my friend, my longtime colleague who runs Texas EquiSearch. Everybody on the panel, jump in. We got a lot to get through. First of all, to Joe Scott Morgan, renowned professor of forensics, joining us out of Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet, book on Amazon, and star of a hit series, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, Right now, we don't have a COD,
Just
cause of death. She's still at the Harris County morgue. But you know, and I know, they know the cause of death. They probably knew the cause of death the moment they looked at her.
that's weird.
I'm guessing asphyxiation of some sort. But let me talk to you about A, toxicology. Did he dope her up with, let's just say, Benadryl or something like that? B, you heard what Tim Miller said from Texas EquiSearch. The water temps were very low. How did that help or hurt? Had there been any fish activity on her? I don't see how if she's in a swirling eddy. Just, you know what? You know more than me on this, Joe Scott. Just hit me.
All right, so Truth Teller, it won't let me read. It will not let me get into that. It's saying you have to. Let me see. You have to be a member. It won't let me read. It won't let me get into what you sent.
First off, I hope that the knots were not untied at the scene.
Ooh,
I hope
yes,
that
yes,
I
yes.
hope that the rock was not disengaged, because when we work cases and they arrive at the morgue, we want all of the elements present so that we can fully appreciate, how, for instance, with her, how was she secured? You think about the forensics of knot tying.
Plus, Joe Scott, what about potential DNA on the inside of those knots?
Yeah, and that's quite interesting, depending upon how long she had been in there, and not so much she, but those knots. Were there any protected spaces in there? Right now, my gut would say no, but Nancy, there's a saving grace here, and Tim had brought this up, and this is the beauty of this. You used the term savage. That was kind.
Yeah.
That article of clothing that was left on the shore there, if it was relatively intact and it was not super saturated with water, there might be a chance that you can find some foreign DNA on there, and that may originate.
Joe Scott, really, I am completely drained on the case. Please speak to me in regular talk. Are you talking about when you say, I don't even, you're talking about sperm, you're talking about saliva, you're talking about epithelial skin cells, hair, any fiber from his clothes that could be on her pants. Is there some other DNA I'm missing? Hair, fiber, skin, sperm, blood, sweat. Is there some other DNA that I'm missing?
No, there's not.
Well,
and
Well,
also
hold on.
one
I
other.
think Tim's jumping in. Do you have something, Tim?
hey, yeah, can I break in real quick?
Please.
I was actually with the Texas Rangers yesterday and stuff, and doing affidavit and giving all the pictures and stuff for the trial. And one of the things that we talked about is, thank God that water was as cold as it was, because if he sexually assaulted her, there was possibly going to be able to get semen from her.
Good point. Okay, Joe Scott, I hate to treat you like a computer, but that's more data that has been input into that brain of yours. Now spit it out as best as you can. We'll all try not to interrupt. Go ahead, unless
No,
we
that's
have
okay,
to.
sure. Yeah. So, and one other thing here, I think that's really pertinent is the fact that that garment was found on the shore. I'm really wondering, Nancy, if he had not picked that spot to,
Okay, I got you.
commit
That's cool.
commit this savage attack on her, that's the location where he may have stripped her and have done whatever he did to her that you had previously mentioned. And if that's the case,
I don't see it right there. I would think that he would attack her and sex assault her in the car or in some covered area, not in the open area along the river
right.
bank.
Yeah, but I
That's
think
a very
that
wide open area there.
at this point, I don't think that anything can be discounted, though. We don't even have the
You're
cause.
right. But tell me what we do know, what we
Well,
will get from that body. I
yeah,
can tell you this
Her
right.
dad partied with that animal for months. Who told you that? What Janet say? I must have missed it. Water destroys DNA, Nancy H says. I hope they find DNA. Janice said, I heard it before on another channel. I must have missed what you said before. Keeper, True Crime and Paranormal. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. This guy is so good. It disturbs me that her dad would allow this monster to live in the backyard.
Bing bong.
Agreed.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Right? I mean,
Hold up.
people are on here asking for money. I don't get that. The news thing we just heard said she got hit in the head once.
Now, when you don't know a horse, look at his track record.
Yolanda, is
He
there any-
tried to sex assault the other little
Yeah,
girl.
there is that. You want to see? You didn't know that? I think I know it. What is his name? I'm pretty sure this is him right here. Right? Bing bong. Right? Am I correct there? But yeah, right there.
Girl. So he tried to sex assault this little girl. Okay?
1,000%.
That's not a leap
Becky said
of
it, probably
imagination.
messing with-
That's his
No,
track record. So
yeah,
why
and-
else would he have her? What? To sit in his car and play solitaire? To to watch TikTok? Hell no. He attacked this girl. That's why she didn't have her pants on. So what evidence am I going to get?
Well, given the fact that she is found in a body of water, I think that it is going to be very difficult to have success with a rape kit. If he ejaculated within her person, okay, and she's nude in the water, we don't know that at this
Well,
point.
are you telling me they can't retrieve sperm from her vagina or rear end?
I mean, listen to what Tim just said a second ago. Her body was swirling around, Nancy.
I know, but the
she
water
was
wouldn't
like
go
a
into
top.
her vagina.
Of course it would. Of course it would, and it does. And let me throw one more thing at you. If that isn't enough, you're talking about a small child. She's, and I hate to say this, Nancy, but she's greatly dilated at this point in time. If in fact she
talking
was
about her
sexually
vagina?
assaulted. Yes, Nancy, I am.
Well, then
And so
say
if that's
it,
the
man.
case,
Spit it out. Okay. Now, actually, you're making sense. If her vagina is dilated because of the water, is that what you're saying?
yeah, no, because of the sexual assault.
Because of the
And
sex assault, you're saying that's how water could penetrate the vagina. Because, ladies, think
absolutely.
about it. When you get in the bathtub, you do not get water in your vagina. Same thing here. But what Joe Scott is saying, I think, is that because we believe, had been raped, her vagina is now dilated and water could enter and destroy the evidence. Oh,
I don't
dear.
think any case has made me so sick to my stomach. My heart is broken as if I birthed this baby girl. He's a fucking waste of skin. Channy, talk to him. I appreciate the support to the channel too, but damn, I agree.
Dear Lord, unless there's some evidence on her pants. Is that right?
Yes, it is. And one other area here that might be a bit more protected,
That's
believe it or
the
not,
shit.
might be her fingernails. I think that with nail clippings in particular, because that's kind of a hooded area, if everybody will just look at their fingernails, if she scraped him, there might be a possibility that's still trapped beneath her fingernails. That's kind of a long shot, but that's what I would be thinking as well.
Joe Scott, why don't we have a COD yet?
I think that they're taking their time with it. One of the things I thought about, and this is way off.
Okay,
the
so
topic,
somewhat, all right,
but
bet.
I'm really, and they have to consider this. I wonder if she was placed in there alive. I don't know that, and they're trying to make a determination as to whether or not perhaps she had taken on water in life, and they would find evidence of that in her lungs. Also, there's a test that we do in the inner ear.
Okay, yeah. You're right. And I'm glad you said that too. I'm glad you said that right here. On February 15th, my daughter Audrii Cunningham is missing. She did not make it to the bus this morning. Contact me and police immediately. I don't know why people had sent me that other link talking about that's him. No, this is him. For sure. As soon as I went to the page, you had this up there, February 15th. So that was days ago. Let's see. Joshua Cunningham. I thought the other pic kind of looks like him. The same person. That's dad. Okay.
At autopsy, that we check for drowning. I think that part of that is that's what's complicating this to this point. And also the
Wait,
suffocation.
isn't it a matter of removing the lungs and weighing them to see if they're wet?
Yeah, you can. And there's
What
a
does that
standard
take?
weight.
15 minutes?
Yeah, it does. However, what they will want to do, Nancy, also with drowning to confirm it, is we look for what are called diatoms, and that's these little creatures that exist in the water that you take on, and you have to look at them microscopically. So I'm wondering if that might be part of it as well, Nancy.
You mean whatever lives in the river water, whatever
Yeah.
microscopic organisms would now be in her lungs.
Lucky.
Yeah,
Now,
and
what is
that
the inner
those
ear test for drowning?
well, that you would actually have water contained within the inner ear. And so that's part of the drowning process as well. And so that's something that we would want to consider and that they're looking at. I can tell you,
Gotcha.
they're being very thorough with this.
I don't see it.
Joe Scott, jump in as we move along, but
Okay,
I
yeah, I
want to
do.
talk about this affidavit. Joining you right now, high-profile lawyer out of Livingston, Lana Shadwick, former judge, former prosecutor, legal analyst for Breitbart in Texas at lanashadwick.com. Lana, thank you for being with us. Have you read the affidavit? I've got a few things I want to ask you about. This guy is so full of crap because we hear
Yeah, hold up. Joshua is it? Yeah, no, that's the second one I pulled up, right?
police say, this is where you're going to come in, Lee Reber, that they were able to place a defendant with the victim. Now, how? Through cell phone data, we know that, through other digital information, and through information from him. But I am telling you right now, he was lying through his teeth. The information they likely got from him is from his cell phone because triangulation doesn't lie. Pings don't lie. This guy lied through his teeth.
Well, they've got him now. I mean, he's at the bridge with cell phone data, the pings. I mean, you can lie all you want to, but unfortunately, unfortunately, he tied her to a rock, and that's where the body was found. They're going to be able to ping his cell phone, get video footage of that 2003 blue Suburban, and placed him there. And now that vehicle is in the custody of law enforcement authorities. And they are combing it.
I want you to look, Lana, at paragraph 5. Affiant shall show through investigation. That's the cop. It's the affiant. Investigations were able to determine through cell phone data, video footage, and other forensic evidence that McDougal lied about his whereabouts and activities. He flat out lied. Hey,
yeah, they got him.
And another thing,
Exactly.
take a listen to our friend at Crime Online, Rachel Bonilla.
According to KTRK, Don Stephen McDougal was seen at a Livingston mechanic shop near Highway 59 the day Audrey went missing. Workers at the shop said McDougal was filthy, covered in dirt, and acting suspicious. He was there trying to get a part for his blue Chevy Suburban.
So we know that he was completely filthy at a mechanic's shop. What about that, Lana? Filthy with what? Because he had been down there at the riverbank getting rid of a body?
Yeah, right?
Well, absolutely. That's evidence of where he was beyond, having cell phone pings and video footage. Now they've got him covered in lake river mud. And so saying he's filthy. So the guy's so smart, he doesn't even bother to clean up anything before he goes out to get a part for his car.
Nope.
I'm very curious about what we know regarding that video footage and the cell phone pings. Bob Price joining me, associate editor, senior news contributor, Breitbart, Texas. Bob, do you
Match to the
know
vehicle,
that
huh?
the pings absolutely place him on that bridge? because based
Well,
on
we
what
know
Tim Miller is
we know
saying, he
that
didn't
the
throw a body off a bridge. He went down on the riverbank.
right, and with the clothing found on the riverbank and not tangled up in the grass along the river's edge, we know that he was up on that bank and probably placed her or pushed her into the water with that rock attached. Not only did the cell phone data confirm that, though, he took the police to that location on Saturday and said that that was one of the places that he'd been. Now, he lied about some other things, but he admitted that he was at that location.
Well,
Now, the
Bob,
interesting thing about him getting a cart.
please, my dear sweet boy. He only did that when they showed him, hey, your phone is pinging right here.
Oh, sure,
He didn't
probably
volunteer, and he
so, but
lied through his teeth, man.
so he was at this car shop getting parts for his car. He went on Facebook that day and started selling off a bunch of his personal belongings. He was planning to run at that point, and fortunately, the police caught up with him before he had a chance to flee.
Lee Reber is joining us out of New Alexandria, Virginia, mobile device forensic expert and CEO of Oxygen Forensics, Inc. He is the author of, listen to this, Mobile Forensic Investigations. And he's the host of a podcast, which is great, by the way, Forensic Happy Hour. Lee
Right.
Reber, thank you for being with us. Lee, explain to me, how much can I rely on pings? How accurate are they? Can they place him at that riverbank? Hey, Tim Miller, how close were
drugs.
Audrey's pants to the bridge? Were they thrown from the bridge, or would he have had to go down to the riverbank?
Had to go down to the riverbank, and it was actually in the water, so it was saturated with water.
What?
Uh-oh, Joe Scott Morgan's not going to like that, because
my
that could have gotten
God.
rid of any forensic evidence linking the defendant back to her pants. But that said, I'll go back to you in a second, Joe Scott. Lee Reber, explain to me, how accurate is the pinging process?
Yeah, I think if you look at the triangulation, it could be accurate, it could be very accurate, but what I think is more important is the forensic evidence that's going to be from the device itself when they go and do the collection of that. Because those are just GPS devices that could put you, a meter to the location. So I think that utilizing, obviously identifying, being able to, he's lying because the location, but once they have that device in their possession and do the processing of that, it's going to show, there might be photos, and the photos have exif data, we can show location. They can have just a simple, from the data that's on the device, any applications that were utilized and showing GPS locations. So I think the data from the device itself will be way more important than looking at, say, the data from the towers.
Quick question. Bob Price joining us, Breitbart. What year is this perv's Chevy Suburban?
Trying to hook up with her mom.
So the sheriff announced that they were looking for information about this 2003 dark blue Chevy Suburban that he was seen
Got it,
driving
2003.
and belongs to him.
Okay, to Lee Reber, mobile device forensic expert. Remember the Alex?
He said people keeping quiet about stuff like this is the problem. You mean like? I'm trying to think what you mean by. You mean knowing that someone is a SA or not? Actually, they weren't not a SA. Registered. Anyways, he was not registered. But it's still killing me to sit here and think that this guy got a plea deal on the first go around. So literally, he got a plea deal, didn't have to register, and got close enough to where he could do what he did here. And just like the guy said earlier that he had that little scuffle with the dude that pulled out the shotgun, said he was like, I should have shot him then. He should have been away, is what should have happened. He should have been away. Audrey would have been safe if they never gave out this plea deal and he had to register. Possibly. Doesn't even make sense. It's beyond fucked up. I'm just gonna say that at least. It's way beyond fucked up. Excuse my language, but
Murdoch
what it is.
trial, how much we learned from his nav system. You could even tell, Lee, and you and I talked about this, you were awesome. When Murdoch got in his car, his
Was it?
SUV, to leave
Oh
the
shit.
scene of the double murder where he murdered his wife and son, the nav system will even show him opening the car door, closing it, cranking up, putting the car in drive, driving, screeching out of the crime scene, driving like a bat out of hell, slowing down. It showed when he let his window down electronically, which I argue is when he threw Maggie Murdoch's cell phone out the window, let the window back up,
I'm
and
not
then
sure. It might be the
hightailed it
brother.
to his mother's house
Good question.
28 miles away. It showed when he cranked back up, got back in, and went back to the crime scene and went, "Oh, dear Lord in heaven, my wife and son are dead. Let me call 911." It was all a lie. But those nav systems are amazing. Is there such a nav system in a 2003 Suburban?
Landry, they should.
Well, the vehicle
I agree.
itself,
There
I
should
mean,
never be you said there should never be a plea deal or lesser charge when it comes to hurting or anything involving children.
Bing bang.
What's going on? Arlene. Audrey's mom truly loved Audrey. Grandma has money to fight in court, but mom doesn't. Mom didn't want to force Audrey to see or talk to her. She said Don's texts were sus from the beginning.
In 2004, or if you remember the OnStar systems, they had OnStar systems. I know the 2004 Chevy Suburban
Welcome, Fun Size.
has an OnStar. They all have computers with the nav system.
2003.
Even in 2003. I'm just saying, and as old as the 2003, we had OnStar navigational systems that are running on all those opening doors. It'd be treasure trove along with the data from the mobile device.
They better get on that
For sure.
subpoena to Chevy right now, because remember at trial, all that evidence, they had asked for it long ahead of time, but they got it during the trial or right before the trial. Defense almost got to keep it out. Hey, word to the wise in Texas. Lana, Andy Cunningham, pass this along. Get the nav system information now. Bob Price, what can you tell me about text messages between Audrey's bio mom and McDougal? Apparently, he was offering for the two of them to meet, stating that the little girl wanted to see her mom, and coincidentally, offering to meet at the spot by the river where the little girl is found.
So Audrey, I've seen some of those posted on social media, and clearly he was trying to entice this mother down to that river. Now that raises the question about when is the actual time of death.
I think honestly, when you think about this, and he was trying to get mom to come down to river, I think that a lot of you are right when you speculate on that he would have set her up. I actually think that you guys are right about that, because why else would she end up at that pretty much the spot that they were talking about in text messages, but mom didn't go? I don't know. I think that's right. I think you guys are speculating on that, right? I've seen a bunch of people saying that, by the way, but I actually agree with that 100%. I really do think he was going to set up mom.
For Audrey, did he do something to her the night before and was trying to get the mom down there to do something with her as well? There's a lot of things that could come into play here, but clearly he was trying to meet up with her and using Audrey as bait, if you will, to get her down there to meet with him.
And he also,
we know
Bob
from what
Price, kept stressing, don't tell anybody. Quote, as long as no one says anything about it being set up, no one would even know. And Audrey, wouldn't say anything.
And that's the MO that this guy has. He grooms people, family members, children, all of this. We know from what was said yesterday on the show that he assaulted a woman by groping her at a public party, a married woman, just months before this. We know that he was at the birthday party of another 11-year-old child just months before this happened. He's hanging around all of these types of people down there. this father has a criminal conviction for assault causing bodily injury. You know, maybe that's how they met somewhere.
Are you saying
But
Audrey's father has that conviction?
yes,
So my speculation that they met in the penitentiary could be accurate. What's another thing that's very disturbing about these texts between Audrey's bio mom and the defendant, McDougal, is he is saying, I will take her to school and have you on the phone. I will take her to school tomorrow. This is Wednesday night. The next
think she
day
was
is the day
already
he was
dead.
supposed to take her to school, but whoops, she ended up without her pants dead in the river. And
Excuse me. I think she was already dead, and he was gonna kill mom too. So they were both missing, and they would think she took off with her.
talking to the mom
Interesting.
the following morning, the day of the murders. Good morning. They're still planning to meet up with the girl. And he says, he says to her, have you seen Audrey? I dropped her off at the bus and she didn't get on and hasn't gotten home. So he's lying in these texts to the mother. Bob?
yeah. If his lips are moving, or his fingers are touching a keypad, he's lying, and that's been consistent throughout this whole thing. This whole area, the people in the courthouse told me that there's 13 sex offenders that live within a very short radius of this house. This father and
Okay,
another
Sky Blue.
father are exposing their children to these types of
We
people on a
understand.
regular basis,
I got a
and
question
putting these
about a
children in
photo for
dangerous
you.
situations.
Lana Shadwick, Chris McDonough joining us from the Cold Case Foundation, former homicide detective and host of The Interview Room on YouTube. I've seen photos of the dad, who, according to Bob Price, has a conviction for assault. Was it ag assault or assault, Bob?
Assault causing bodily injury, misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Then they wouldn't have met in the pen. Maybe the county jail. But Lana and Chris, have you seen the photos of Audrey's dad with the defendant? They look like they're at some outing. They're both wearing the same kind of handmade bracelet. They're clearly big friends. Have you seen the photo?
Yes, I've seen the photos, Nancy. Yes.
Chris McDonough,
For
the
sure.
photo is of the defendant McDougal and Audrey's dad, with whom she lived. They've got their arms around each other. All of his prison tattoos, his swastika, all that in plain view. They're hugging each other and they're shooting, it looks like the AB, Aryan brother. But that said, they're wearing matching bracelets. What kind of bromance do those two have?
You know, that photo is obviously pretty disturbing, Nancy. And for this dirtbag, in order for the state of Texas to, quite frankly, hang a millstone around his neck and toss him into the sea,
Right, Evan?
I think it's important not only that they look at what we call suspectology and kind of dissect what his past is, but I think this case is going to revolve and end up, you know, balancing out on whether or not that child was alive when she was put into that water, because that opens up an investigation into other potential crime scene locations.
Why
the house,
do
the
you
car.
think it all hinges on whether she's dead or alive when she's thrown in the water? She's dead now.
Because you have the, like Dr. Morgan was talking about, the chances of getting greater forensic and or circumstantial evidence to put this guy away increase when you have crime scenes that you can actually collect that type of evidence. Like, let's just use the cigarette butts for an example that he bought at the gas station. Where are those cigarette butts if he bought cigarettes?
Yeah, right here it says new audio reveals details into prior investigation of Audrii Cunningham's killer. It says, should the man accused of killing Audrii Cunningham have been behind bars before the fifth grader vanished? Only KPRC2 has obtained an audio recording of the Polk County Sheriff appearing to admit the ball was dropped in a previous criminal investigation involving Audrey's suspected killer, Don Stephen McDougal. Wow. And it also says 6 months. Hold up, 6 months before 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham disappeared, the man now accused of killing her was also accused of violently stabbing a stranger 3 times. It says Mr. Stanley received a knock on the door from a female. She said that her car was broken down and she needed some help. Mr. Stanley goes out to her vehicle, or Miss Stanley goes out to her vehicle. As he, or it says as he approaches the vehicle, or as she approaches the vehicle, or never mind. What the hell? Why does it say Mr. Stanley received a knock on the door from a female? Okay, I see that part. She said that her car was broken down and she needed some help. So it goes, Mr. Stanley goes out of her vehicle. As he approaches the vehicle, he ambushed and stabbed, said Stanley's attorney, David Feldman. Now it says here, according to the court documents, the woman came to his house with a man he didn't know. After Stanley tried to help them with a dead battery and realized it wasn't dead, he started rolling up cables and the unknown man attacked him with a knife. Stanley initially identified the wrong suspect, who was arrested but later released, according to a timeline of the investigation the sheriff's office shared with KPRC2. He later identified McDougal as the suspect. Stanley contacted authorities on Friday, February 16th, the day after Audrii disappeared, as chatter on social media prompted speculation that McDougal may have been involved. As investigators zeroed in on McDougal as a person of interest in her disappearance, they say he confessed to the stabbing of Stanley while being questioned by Texas Rangers. Now, I wonder why. So he confessed to the stabbing. As they zeroed in on her disappearance. So as they were looking for Audrii, he literally confessed to the stabbing of him. Interesting. And it also says here, okay, so stabbing was questioned by Texas Rangers. That is what landed him behind bars, charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon as the desperate search for the missing 5th grader continued. Days later, prosecutors charged McDougal with capital murder and her disappearance and death. But why wasn't he arrested sooner for the alleged stabbing? There was some circumstances that took place that would not allow us to be able to arrest him at that time, and he would not cooperate, or would not, basically lawyered up, would not talk with investigators, said Polk County Sheriff Byron Lyons at a press conference held on Monday. And the new audio obtained only by KPRC2 during a late November 2023 meeting for approximately 30 minutes with the stabbing victim's girlfriend, Lyons appeared to admit the case wasn't being investigated properly. We dropped the ball on this and we're trying to find the ball to get it fixed. Lyons appeared to say in the recording, we didn't do our job. That's why we're here to talk about it. We're fixing it. We're making it right. And it shows it right here. Hold on, let's pull it over here real quick. Let me pull it back up. It actually shows. Let me look here. It shows okay, there's 3 pages. And this is the recording. I'm gonna have to get those. I'll screenshot them. We'll check them out. So only obtained by them. We'll be checking that out.
Where is, his air filter? Is there evidence within that air filter that place him underneath that bridge through, bringing in?
Hold on, please. Wait a minute.
Sure.
Chris McDonough, we have his pings placing him at the location where the child's body is found. We have him being the last one with her.
Right.
We have him stating
and that's all great
he
evidence.
had her in the car. So what did she do? Go tie a rock around her waist and throw herself off the bridge? No,
but that's
there's
all great
evidence
evidence
right now to convict him. Are you kidding me? You think we can't prove
totally
this case
agree.
without DNA? We can. DNA is just
But
the
how would
icing
you like
on
to
the
find,
cake. What?
Nancy, how would we? I know if I put a package in front of you in court, you would shred this guy. But how would you love to find semen in his truck, where maybe that's where the sexual assault took place?
Or
and maybe we find her
his
DNA.
clothing? Have you thought of Joe Scott?
Yeah,
we stopped at the body. What about his clothing? Well, you don't think there's any fibers from her on his clothing? No epithelial cells, no blood, no nothing.
Hair.
Hair, anything. What about it, Joe Scott? Help me out, brother.
It's possible that you could. Here's the problem. As admitted earlier, you were talking. One of the guests had mentioned how filthy he was and encrusted
way too late
with all of this dirt.
But yet he was
and-
clean at the gas station. Interesting. Go ahead.
So we don't know what the status of the clothing are. Is it possible that they could collect something
welcome,
from
Francis.
her,
Thank
from this precious little angel that may have made its way onto him? Yes, that's within the realm of possibility. But we don't know how much due care was taken with those clothing, if in fact they have collected those clothing from him or from wherever he was domiciled at the time.
Got something. What about the rope? The rope. I mean, Lana Shadwick, you're the high profile lawyer. Even a trash bag can be traced back to the lot, the group of trash bags that were created, manufactured at what plant, in what city, on what date.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
same
right.
thing with
And where
car
it was
paint.
purchased.
Yes. You think they can't do the same thing on rope? You think they can't match up the rope, and you know he cut it. You think that somebody like Joe Scott Morgan can't take the one end of the rope that was tied around her body and the other end of the rope that was in his car. They already said it's the same rope, and put it together and see forensically.
Hold up. He went to the site with authorities. How is that not admitting to the crime? Well, he took him, Landry, he took him to the sites that he was at. That's what was explained from what I heard. He took him to the sites where they were at. He didn't confess to it. Allegedly, he confessed to the stabbing instead. So if he could have been arrested already for the stabbing.
That they match perfectly.
I think he can.
I mean,
He
I'm just
can.
a JD. I'm not a crime lab scientist, but
Nancy.
even I can figure that out.
Nancy, here's another beauty part to the rope. Depending upon how well they treated it and they removed it from her body, did you know that if she was tied up with that rope ante-mortem prior to death, there's going to be evidence of that you would not necessarily see with a post-mortem tie-up. So if she's got an abraded area that's got any associated hemorrhage with it or anything, that's an indication that she may have been alive when she was tied up and secured.
I got
at that
another
point in
idea for
time.
you. Jackie can hold up your note. I can't take credit. It's Jackie's. Something about the fact that he was clean at the gas station after he was filthy at the mechanics, depending on which was first, the chicken or the egg. Does that mean he then disposed of the body? And was the body in the truck for disposal? I find it really hard to believe he'd stop at a gas station with a dead body in the car. That said, that means something. Lana Shadwick, I don't know what it means yet, but I will find out what it means.
It's circumstantial evidence and direct evidence of him being by the river or by the lake, beyond the cell phone data and any video footage and that sort of thing. You've got him placed at a station where he's all clean in the video, and then he's
tell me something I don't know. Tell me something.
Okay.
I seen that
There
video.
be neglect charges or felony neglect charges, neglect that ends in death, filed against the father. And please don't everybody start screaming at me. You're blaming the victim. I am a crime victim.
Okay.
But I know
All
this
right,
girl
so-
is dead.
Injury to a child by negligence or omissions, a felony 1 in the state of Texas.
Will this fit that?
You've got, pardon me?
If the dad had knowledge of his record, could he be charged with felony neglect ending in death on a child?
Certainly, if he had knowledge. But that's the father.
How could he
also
not
has a
have
duty.
knowledge? They got a bromance going on.
That's right. Got the same headbands on.
The same bracelet, the same headbands. Okay, Andy Kahn, in a nutshell, you know how I hate talking about legislation. Because of the Audrii case, what do you hope to achieve?
I hope that we do end up bringing focus on offenders like McDougal, who somehow escape from having the label of sex offender on him. Maybe if he had to register back when he committed the offense of enticing a child, indecency with a child, when he evidently was trying to sexually assault a 10-year-old girl years ago, maybe that would have raised alarm bells at this time. Maybe the community would have known more about McDougal. Who knows? Maybe the parents, I don't know, but at least we would have known about his criminal history and his propensity to do sexual deviant acts around young girls. So what I hope to do next session is to take this case, make it a catalyst for change. Make it a catalyst for change.
I don't know, Janet.
Okay, hold on.
and
I
add
got
the
it. I
offense.
got it. I got it.
We'll see.
You know what I hate, Andy Kahn? You know what I hate? Woulda, coulda,
Yep.
shoulda. Yes, I want you to champion that, and I want it to pass. Maybe another little girl will be saved. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Can't bring Audrii Cunningham back. We wait as justice unfolds. Goodbye, friend. Guys, thank you for watching.
Wow, interesting. A whole entire that was interesting for sure. Now is the time. I'm about to open up the lines. I definitely want to hear from you. 219-885-9693. I'm gonna open them up right now. Everybody gets 6 minutes. Hold on, let me load that up. Let me close this down. I got way too many tabs open. Hold up 1 second. But I did take it off, so you can get through. I'm seeing one come. It's not ringing now. Hold up. The child predator would never tell it. Sounds like a good plan. I don't know. We may go over there. You never know. What's going on, Emmy? Welcome. We may. I'm thinking about it. He took off her pajamas and underwear, but that was only inviting a minor or enticing a minor. Please, everyone, regularly check SO registry around your homes and keep your children safe. Agreed. Julia says he jumped in her bed and tried to take her shorts off. That is not enticement in my book. That is assault. She was in her bed. Yeah, that's disgusting as hell, too. Super disgusting. What's going on, Sylvie? Welcome to the stream. Trey says he should have been kept in prison. I bet he was let out early, etc. They gave him a plea deal. You believe that shit? Be more vocal on people finishing their sentences. Got him a little slap on the wrist. It does that to me, cracker cocaine. I'm disgusted, but grateful she won't be another Harmony. Still no discovery after years. Thinking it's late night. It is 1:05 a.m. Damn. All right, what infamous again? Infamous third time a charm rev. Just paid for the actual docs. All right, let's see. Let me load it up real quick. I don't see it though. I don't see them in the email. I do not see them in the email. I'm looking though. Unfortunately, I don't believe dad will be held liable as he didn't legally have custody. The grandmother did, but who knows what they'll decide to do and who they'll decide should bear responsibility. He's got 1.5 years credit on that 2008 child enticement case, so less than 6 months in actual prison. Where were you? Where was I? Here. I just didn't get on till later. I think I got on at like 10 o'clock. My cousin was murdered and thrown in a pond. It's horrifying. Damn. I'm sorry to hear that, T. Smith. He was allowed to plead to no contest. Here, 1 second. Let me grab this too. Let me search and pull this up because I actually wanted to actually take a picture or screenshot these documents right here, right? Now these documents, I'm getting them right now. Let me see. Maybe it'll let me save it off of here too. Okay. Let's save. Let's open it. Let's do that. So there's one. What does this state? What is it talking about here? Reported date August 19th of 2023 to Polk County Sheriff's Office, 4:09 a.m. Responding deputy. Is that Shayna Wood? At approximately 4:25 a.m., Deputy Wood responded to the location of where David Stanley was with EMS away from the home. It also says at approximately 5:03 a.m., Deputy Wood responds to Stanley home for viewing an attempted viewing location where stabbing took place. No evidence located. August 19th, 2023, David Stanley arrives home from hospital to meet with Deputy K. Newman at residence and crime scene. Deputy Newman discovered a flashlight at the scene that maybe actors left or lost. August 19th of 2023, Deputy K. Newman receives written statements from Stanley and Sewell, which were given to them. Why Deputy Wood to fill out? August 21st of 20 or Detective Ethan Placker receives case file on August 21st, 2023, after being assigned by Detective Lieutenant David Mitchell. August 21st, 2023, unknown time. David Stanley meets with Detective Placker at Sheriff's Office on case. Henry Reyes, identified as suspect by David Stanley, provided video statement. Letitia Sewell, girlfriend of Stanley, was present at the time of the interview. David Stanley provokes Detective Placker and Lieutenant Mitchell with pages of photos he received from Facebook page of blank, identifying Henry Reyes as the actor in the stabbing. August 21st of 2023, Detective Placker makes attempts in locating Henry Reyes for interview, unable to locate. And here, August 21st of 2023, Detective Placker issues arrest warrants for Henry Reyes for offense of aggravated assault with deadly weapon and blank for offense of aggravated robbery. August 23rd of 2021, Henry Reyes and blank were arrested on warrants. August 23rd of 2023, Detective Placker and Detective Placker and I interviewed blank, who identified the male actor with her as Jeremy, who she does not know his last name. August 23rd of 2023, Detective Placker and Lieutenant D. Mitchell interviews Henry Reyes, who denies being involved or having knowledge of the assault. They even messed this up. Why does this say 2021? Are they doing paperwork right around there? So you mean you went through 2023 just to go back to 2021?
Stop the cap.
Better get that shit right. So that was the first page. This is the second page, right? And this is where they say they failed her at. But we want to fix it. Right here, specifically. Let me open that real quick and I'm gonna pull that back up. It says we dropped the ball on this and we're trying to find the ball to get it fixed. So basically they're saying that they dropped the ball and that's why she died. They dropped the ball and that's why she died. That's pretty much what I'm seeing. We didn't do our job. I see them, saying that we didn't do our job, but damn. Well, then I guess you need to be fired then, right? August 25th of 2023, Detective Placker talks with blank. Again, she then states she told Henry Reyes about assault and then stated she stabbed David Stanley, then identifies Don Stephen McDougal as unknown male being at the scene. August 30th, 2023, Detective Placker meets again with David Stanley and Letitia Sewell at Sheriff's Office interview room. Stanley still identifies Henry Reyes as stabbing actor. August 30th, 2023, Detective Placker submits case file on Reyes and Sewell to District Attorney's Office for review. Transmittal received. September 9th of 2023, Detective Placker received telephone call from David Stanley. Stanley states he attended a protective order hearing, then seeing Henry Reyes, and Reyes was not the person who stabbed him. Stanley states everyone was pushing that it was Reyes. Stanley then states Stephen McDougal stabbed him. September 9th of 2023, Detective Placker consulted with First Assistant DA Tammy Pierce on the case, advised to interview David Stanley again. September 9th of 2023 at 1:50 p.m., Detective Placker meets with David Stanley again at the sheriff's office, went over the story again, submits supplemental report to DA office to put with the original case file at DA's office. September 21st of 2023, Polk County DA office enters case file into the system. In their office reference to Henry Reyes and blank cases. November 28th of 2023, Detective Lieutenant Craig Finnegan, contacted by Sheriff Lyons to investigate this case. Investigation after being contacted by David Stanley. November 28th of 2023, Detective Lieutenant Finnegan contacts David Stanley by telephone to come to the sheriff's office to follow up on the case. November 29th of 2023, Detective Lieutenant Finnegan attempts to interview jail inmate Stephen McDougal on the case. McDougal refuses to talk. November 30th of 2023, Detective Lieutenant Finnegan attempts telephone contact with David Stanley, leaving a voicemail. December 4th of 2023, Detective Lieutenant Finnegan meets with David Stanley at the sheriff's office, conducting a video interview for information. Talked about that he identified Henry Reyes out of a Facebook photo from blank Facebook as the person who stabbed him. Detective Placker talked to you several times after that, and Detective Mitchell showed him, or Michelle maybe, kind of looks like both, Michelle showed him a photo and asked if that was Henry Reyes, and he said yes it was. Stanley responded, they did not ask if that was the guy that stabbed me. Interesting. Well, what's page 3 at? So 1, 2, and then 3. It says timeline of the case. So talking about later in the investigation, he sees a photo of a book in photo of Stephen McDougal that he sees on the internet and says back that McDougal stabbed him. David Stanley requested that attempted murder charges be filed again with the following: Henry Reyes, blank, and Stephen McDougal. His reasoning was that it takes 3 people to conspire to commit murder, and stated that Henry Reyes should have known that blank was out with Stephen McDougal, so there are 3 people. David Stanley was advised that due to him picking out the wrong person as the actor by a photo online, and then picking another person out by an online photo along with blank, giving different stories as to who was involved, that I would not be issuing an arrest warrant, but would be forwarding the case report to the Polk County DA office for review. February 8th of 2024, Detective Lieutenant Finnegan submits all supplemental information as to possibly Stephen McDougal being involved in the assault to Polk County DA office for review and grand jury if needed. February 16th of 2023, Polk County grand jury assembled. Case in question was not presented. February 21st of 2024, right during our time, these two, right? Polk County DA office sets up file and system for Don Stephen McDougal. Look at these dates right here. Like, look at these dates. Wow. So again, February 16th of 2023, Polk County grand jury assembled. Case in question was not presented. February 21st of 2024, Polk County DA office sets up file and system for Stephen McDougal case. During the capital murder investigation on this day with Stephen McDougal as defendant, McDougal made statements to Texas Rangers during an interview that he did stab David Stanley. Arrest warrant was issued for aggravated assault with deadly weapon in the David Stanley criminal investigation by Detective Lieutenant Finnegan. Supplemental information in reference to the investigation is pending being presented to the Polk County DA office, pending scheduled grand jury set for March 22nd of 2024. Yeah, that seems very odd, Mystic Firefly. I agree. It is odd as shit. Polk County printed it on there. Yep. Dollar still. You're spot on there. Mama Mimi, what's going on? Nancy's so mad. I forget the gentleman's name, but the guy who was talking about changing the law, etc. She's like, y'all ain't gonna do nothing. What's going on, Mar? Excuse me. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Let me fix that. This one is one crazy case. I'll tell you that much. My eyes have welled up with tears. I'm disgusted. The fact that right here on this date, it was February 8th, right? February 8th. Detective Lieutenant Finnegan submits all supplemental information. And the fact that they admitted that too here, right? Look up here again. I don't know if you just came in, but they admitted to dropping the ball right there. We dropped the ball and we're trying to find the ball to get it fixed. I'm just saying that's.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
I mean, it does go to show you that all investigations aren't, sometimes you may not have everything that you need, but they definitely dropped the ball on this specific case. They dropped the ball on that, and it ended up costing Audrii Cunningham her life, in my opinion. If they would have nabbed him on this charge, stabbing somebody, he would be in jail. And if you think back to it, it went back to 2023. He could have been he could have been in jail right now. Before Audrii Cunningham was in his scopes. This is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely lawsuit all day long. I wouldn't be surprised if they already are filing that right now. They'd be better not to drop the ball on that. Oh my God. Reyes. Homo Reyes. This shit's crazy. Admitting to dropping the ball is dirty work. I mean, pretty much when you say we dropped the ball, you're letting them know, like, damn, you might need to hire some new people up in here. He should have been arrested. He should have been put up with those charges straight up. And again, the phone lines are open 219-885-9693. I did close them down while I was reading that article or these couple pages right here. Also, I know Truth Teller sent something. Let me see Truth Teller. I don't see it. I don't see it in there. I swear it's not there. I don't know why, but it ain't. Right? Get them all. He went on a family road trip with the ladies and kids. He was the only man, y'all. Months with Amber Alerts, and then silence. Then a couple months later, they start blowing up again. Get a couple from time to time. We could hit an SB if nobody wants to talk. I get it if you don't want to talk about this case. This case is very fucked up. I'm just gonna put it like that. It's fucked up. If you're gonna watch stories or this story in particular, you're gonna hear disgusting details like this. And especially seeing that they dropped the ball even makes me more pissed. So I need to get this off my screen real quick. Good gracious. Audrii Cunningham cause of death revealed. We've seen that already. Yeah, it shows it right here. Yeah, it was tied to a rope and had a large rock tied to her body, authorities said. Somebody told me earlier that she had signs of, what was it? Signs, I forget what they said that they found, but I forgot who told me this earlier. But I don't even want to say it. It's so disgusting. Like it's literally so disgusting. I'm not gonna say it. He was abusing her for a long time, Brad says. I believe it. I believe it. He might have groomed her that whole entire time. And just did what, acted upon something so dark. What's really sad is he was in jail when he was identified as the person that stabbed the guy. They let him go.
Oh my God.
I do see 520, but it didn't ring. I don't know why. Choking shit up. Let me see. See 520. I don't know why you're not coming through. I see it, right? I can see you. Here, I'll do this. Let me do this. See if it fixes it. Maybe this fixes it.
What's up? It's infamous.
Infamous. What were you saying? You said you sent in something. You got documents. What are you talking about? Tell us.
I'm trying to get you that information, man. I was like, fuck. And I'm like, I'm sorry for cussing. I'm just like trying to get you. And I had downloaded it. I paid for the docs and the other stuff you just read. And for some reason, it's in the queue. It won't like queue to your email for some reason. So I was like, man, I was so frustrated. So I apologize. I was all screenshotting every little thing. I was like, damn. And then you got it beforehand. So, but it's in the queue, so hopefully it'll get sent eventually. I mean that.
This shit's sick. This is sick. Just hearing all those details we just listened to for like the last 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is hard to listen to. I could see part of what you sent me earlier, right? But it would not let me go below the certain part that it showed me. So it was like I was like, damn, I can't do anything.
I know. I just paid for the membership too. It was $5 a month, so I just paid for. I was like trying to get you all the information, and then it had a link to get the police report and everything from what you just read right now. And I'm sending you I have it on. It's all queued up. It's like and they're beautiful screenshots too. But I don't know. I give up. But I mean, it's in the queue, and I tried to forward it to myself. I tried all kinds. I tried every which. I have a new tablet, so it's probably not like synced up yet. To the way I move,
Mm-hmm.
It's not queued up right.
For sure.
But, yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot and then her name, we have the same name too, so it hits me different too, because I've just been hearing my name and hearing Audrii, and I'm just like, damn. And then I saw when they did the breaking news or what, when they did the presser, and he didn't say he won't specify like whether because they asked did law enforcement find her, how did they know, and this and that, and he goes, I don't really want to say, like he didn't want to, he was real vague about it.
Damn.
And then they said when they had seen McDougal out there by the lake, they said that, remember how they said they saw him pointing and stuff, and so I think he was leaning towards, like, he didn't say it outright, but basically that he did say some things that kind of like breadcrumbs, and he said that you might want to lower the water in the river, or you might want to lower the water or whatever. So that, but the Equisearch, that man that was talking on the phone, he's the original founder of Equisearch. Like, he's the numero uno, he's the head honcho guy. So he's really old. He's like, he's up there in age and stuff. So his younger counterparts, do all the physical work. But, it's just a lot. It's emotionally draining, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. It takes me back. It makes me want to go review that first thing we did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like with how, and then how is it they held him on? All of a sudden they want to charge him. They didn't go out. They didn't look for him. They didn't. How it says in the thing, they didn't know his name. They didn't. The guy that he attacked when he went to go help him with his car.
Mm-hmm.
And so he stabbed him, and he said he ran home to get away from him. But he said that he didn't know. He knew the female, but he didn't know who that man was. And he told him what he looked like and everything. And he said that There was no charges or anything. It said when Audrii went missing and then when they detained him, that's when they notified him and told him like a victim. You know how they notify you when you're a victim, and then all of a sudden these charges are popping up after 6 months of no activity of helping, getting him arrested or looking for him. And he said that he knew the female, but he didn't know who he was. So he was familiar with the female, and I guess that was the girl that he would run with, I guess. And I don't know how big that town is, but I don't know if she's, you know what I mean? If she's just like, you know how certain people around your city or your town that you see every day, like that live around the street. So I don't know. But she's the one that knocked on his door and asked for help, and they said that what does it say in the report, that he just put the cables, and then he heard the ding, ding, ding when he told her there was nothing wrong with the battery before he even put the cables on the battery.
Not only that, seeing the police say they dropped the ball on arresting Stephen McDougal.
Right. Because he was adamant about trying to. He told them what kind of car he was driving. He told them everything. The man that got checked, and I guess they didn't pursue it. They didn't feel the need to. Now all of a sudden Audrii went missing, and now they want to. Oh, by the way, we're gonna pursue charges 6 months later because they realized they dropped the ball. So I see some civil suits too as well. Against the department because he could have been locked up a long time ago, and then they pulled him over 2 days before she went missing, and it says something about they identified the rope that they saw in his truck 2 days before, and they let him go then too, before she even went missing. They dropped the ball a whole bunch, So sad. She looked like a happy little girl too. She just looked really like she's full of life. So sad. But all right, I just want to let you go. So I just want to let you know I was working hard trying to get you that information. So I'll pick Q's up. I'll send it to you regardless.
Yeah, definitely. I want to check it out for sure.
I just don't want you to think that I was like bullshitting you,
Nah, I believe you. I believe
you. I know I look like I was all repetitive. You're like, this girl, she don't even know what she's doing. Yeah. All right. Well, you take care and you have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, Infamous Truth Teller. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
God bless. Shout out to her. I appreciate her calling in. Much love. 219-885-9693. What's your thoughts on this case? On Audrii Cunningham? Is it true that Audrey's bed was living in the living room? No, I didn't hear that. Maybe you did though. Where'd you hear that at? Reddit? Somebody was talking about it? I didn't hear that. Population 56,133 people. Vigil, he called her. Hold up, what? Rewatch the VFW Vigil. He called her his little alligator bait. What? I get it. I get it. I heard he fell off his bunk in jail and it was sent to the hospital. Any confirmation on that? Where'd that come from? Yeah, that shit was crazy, man. He threw a girl in the floor after yanking her out of the bed. Then the girl in the bed ripped her lower clothes off and left her like that, only to get an enticement charge. Audrey's law. Right, Phil? What's going on, Phil? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, like I said, he deserves the worst of the worst punishment. And, in the pictures, it looks like her daybed is in the living room. Yes, there is a petition. It's pinned up at the top. So if you just came in, the petition's pinned up top. It's on my Twitter also. And I can put it here too. Hold on 1 second. Let's do it like this. And I'm gonna put it in to where you can actually just type it in chat and it'll pull up for you, right? So type in Audrey's I'll just type in Audrey Law, right? And I'm gonna put the link inside of that to where you can go actually just type that in chat, right? Here is the petition. All right, there it is. Now, if you type it in chat, you can again Audrey Law like this. I didn't put the second I either. So it should pop up when you type this in chat anytime that we're live. Mom had to know. M71 said they play with feces. They get sent to special needs yard. He's going anyway because he's a chomo. Yeah, I believe that. I really do. Neglect granny failed that child big time, no doubt. Excuse me. The guy in the red shirt that told everyone to stop the rumors on Facebook is the guy that said he called her his little gator bait. His gator bait. What kind of shit? That's weird. That sounds weird as hell. Yeah, you're my little gator bait. Like who? That doesn't even sound right. I'm sorry, but it don't. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the support, Janet. Oh my goodness. Started twice. If he is in general population, he will be disposed of. I don't think they will like him. Nah, hell nah. PC up right away. They know that's exactly what's going on, and he'll be in there for years. He'll get 3 meals a day, snacks, everything, the whole 9 yards. The whole 9 yards. We'll see if he gets the death penalty. We'll see if he gets the death penalty. What the hell? It's saying showing people calling in and it's not ringing. Make that make sense. Let me refresh the page. Try again. He is PC. Damn, I missed 30 calls and it didn't ring one time. Interesting. This is why moms shouldn't be sons from the children, throw the book at them. Texas Justice, pray for mom. Those people aren't fit. Why is it doing that? Is that the internet? 585 716. What the hell? I'm watching numbers go down the list without it ringing and coming across the screen. That is absolutely insane. After refreshing it 3 times. Yeah, dude, I have it off. It's off. Trust me, I got that bad boy off. I'm looking at it go down the list right now. But now I'm starting to think about doing a session with Janet. Was it Janet that asked? T-REV, I'm typing Audrey Law, but nothing is coming up. Look, I did this so people wouldn't get confused. Without that, you got to do this like this. If you type like this in chat, you'd be good. You tripping. So Audrey was born to parents like that. So sad. Small town girl says, "What's going on, Leo? Welcome." If Texas can't handle him, send him to Angola. They don't play there. They'll take his ass out, huh? We all asking for SB. Boy, that's some. This one's really tough, and the energy, boy. I really need to go back and revisit that first one. All right. Is it 3A14? What's up, all new subscriber? Happy to be here. What's going on? Welcome. I really am thinking about doing it right now. Well, I appreciate everybody who came by. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn your notification bell on for more lives. I'm usually live late nights, usually by 7 or 8 p.m. But it's been a little later lately. The last couple of days I haven't been live, going through some personal things, been doctors, different shit. So I will see you guys very soon. check the second channel. Make sure you have the notification bell on over there too, as we do stuff over there. If you like paranormal, you like shit like that, subscribe to the channel, come over there. I appreciate you guys. Again, thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody who came into the chat. Thank you, everybody who participated in the comments. Thank you, everybody who shared the petition for Audrey's Law. Thank you for everybody who sent in emails. Thank you for whoever called in and I couldn't answer. I apologize. I don't know why it's not working, as I see numbers going down and it's not ringing. But love you guys. Appreciate you. And let's end it like this. It worked there though. Doesn't make no sense.
I count my blessings for the days when I was down and losing faith. They made me patient. All I can say is thank you. I really wouldn't be the same if I ain't gone through all the pain. Look what it made me. All I can say is thank you.
It wouldn't be the same with none of y'all by my side. You hold me down every day and it makes me strive. I wake up and look forward to doing these lives. A lot of y'all really came and opened up my eyes, and I hope I gave it back because it came with yours. No matter what they say, I know I opened up them doors. I brought a family together even though shit was rough. They tried to shut us down, but we really shut them up. No matter what, we stand together when shit gets tough. I wanna thank everyone for showing me love. The Rev Gang family is something I cherish and love, and I'll smack anyone for fucking with us.
Blessings for the days when I was down and losing faith. They made me patient. All I can say is thank you. I really wouldn't be the same if I ain't gone through all the pain. Look what it made me. All I can say is thank you.
No bigger the voice to the voiceless. People get killed for other stupid choices. Standing up for the families that took a loss is something that we find important. Rap game strong, chest up. Little homie, keep your head up. You can be whatever you want. Get rid of the fake and it will lead up. All my life I strive for greatness. I manifested my time with patience. People try to copy us, but respect is earned. It's not an obligation. I love the fam and they love me back, and that's why I always have the backs. I give a voice to those people who were never given a chance for them slimy cats. When you come here, you ain't a number to me. I really take time to read what I see. Don't forget to lock your doors, cause there's danger all up in these streets. Y'all really put life into the air that I breathe. I really am thankful for all of my peeps. Your loyalty means a lot to me, so this is a special thank you from me.